Figure I should be dancing. Should be dancing. If I know what I'm doing. If this is working. Is this working? Who knows? Who knows? Is anything working? Looks like I'm live. Oh wait, but I'm not. Yeah, well, okay. Probably need to be on camera 4. Hello! I thought I actually succeeded in launching a stream successfully, and instead I launched on a black camera. Hello, Ian Michael. Hello, Philip Nietzel. I have to do this because I'm standing quite far away. There we go. Shout out to the Green Room Goblins. Hello, 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 hello. Welcome to my show with the musics. We got the music. If you don't like the music. Also, does the voice sound better, by the way? I've done some changes here to this setup, and it should be better than the last time. I know. Brian, it shouldn't have been. It should have been hours ago. But I have an excuse. Late night stream. Yeah, let's hang out, man. Let's do it. Let's just see if my goody boy is going. Scrub. Load. Here. Fucking go. And we don't need to see you anymore for a while. I have, okay, tons better. Sounds fixed. Yeah, I'm running the audio a different way. I've also got music in the show, right? It's pretty subtle. I can crank it if you want. Ooh, yeah. Check it out. It's real lo-fi. The voice is very mindful. Demure. Thank you. Is it too quiet? For real. I mean, it looks like it's right up in the red, so I don't think so. Living the late night DJ dreams. Yeah, true. I don't know. I'm not actually equipped with playlists on this machine, so tell me what you want to hear. How do I get to like saved? There we go. Okay, there we go. This is my lo-fi working tracks. This is probably way too big music. Let's see if I can maybe I can just find like a playlist. I know, this is so exciting. Greg, way to go. So I used to have a really, really elaborate, I still have it, streaming setup before I moved. In order to access that streaming setup, I need to get basically a fiber optic cable, like a $1,500 fiber optic cable to connect this room to another room. Make it worth my money. You gotta have to pay up for that. So I would love to be able to do that for you, but it's amazing how much I'm doing over here. I have BitFocus Companion. I just installed it, and I was hoping I could run this A10 Mini more effectively off of it, but I don't. It's not actually working, and it should be. What does that mean? Disabled, enabled, and then help, delete, view logs, edit connection, triggers, variable settings, import, export, buttons. Page 1 buttons. How do I actually use the buttons? How do I use them? I don't know. Should be working. Nope. If I hit it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, what happens? Is it gonna switch cameras on me? Hey, thank you very much. So we're gonna talk about some cool stuff here too. Let me see if I can do this. Let's go to htdapp.com. Will I be able to log in if I log in with my Patreon? And I'm not going to show you that. I don't know why it would matter, but I suppose you could. No, you can't read a password. You can't. That's right, guys. We have an app. Holy shit, you actually caught a live stream, Data Miner Gamer. In a second, I'm going to put a drink in my hand because I'm thirsty. All right. Wait till you all see what the cat is dragging in. But this is tough to see. Oh, wow. Can I just like max that fucker up a little bit? Nope, it will not. That's a bad idea. I hate you. Damn it. Okay. Oh, boy. Yeah! Wow, that's not great. Can I also take you down a notch? That's a little better. Okay, so I need to set up a downstream key. Hey, guess what, Greg? You should have done that before. Well, you didn't. You didn't. Too bad. Upstream key. Where's my fucking downstream key? Is it upstream? Is it down? Who knows? Key 1. Okay. I don't understand. All of this stuff is supposed to be much easier. I'm just going to use the buttons over here that I actually understand. Yeah, cool. That's about what I want right there. I just need to make it much bigger. Sure, there we go. Let's embiggen that so I can talk about my cool shit. Thank you, Data Miner. You've been watching for years. Much love. I love you. Wow, that's really generous. Thank you so much. If I say everybody's names, will they give me $20? Because I need it. That's right. This is the How to Drink Telethon. It's back. That's right, baby. We're here to raise some money. I'm going to make a drink. What do you guys want me to drink? What do you want me to drink? I should probably make that a little bit more out of the way. Just a little bit more. There we go. And you know, oh, I can't do a second key. Can't do a second key on this thing. It sucks. Oh, wow, there's like transitions. Got it. How do I switch the source of the key? Okay, it's right there. So I can do camera 1. I can do camera 3. There's the other option for a key source. Look at that. We got my hands. You like that? You like that? That moving beauty? All right, we don't want that though. We want camera 1. What this is supposed to allow me, a Negroni. Ooh, I'm not big on Negronis, but okay, if I have to. Mead, I don't have any mead on hand. Maybe I do. Probably shit. Now, because like it's so sweet, I'm gonna feel rough. I'm not drinking Everclear shots. What am I gonna make with Lafroig? I can't. This is all from another episode. I can't do anything with Lafroig right now because I will get a migraine. The answer is something spicy. My lord, something with mezcal. Something Fallout-ish. That's a little tricky. Hold the pineapple on that. Grey Goose Deuce. I don't know what that is. Alcoholic root beer float. I like that. Last word. Ooh, a last word. I like that. Let's do a last word. It's been ages since I've had a last word. I have to go over to the... Do I need to go? Nope. I got a glass right here and everything. What do I need? I need to have gin. I need to have some lime. I need to have me some... What's in a last word? Some maraschino. Yeah, and chartreuse, which, oh my God, that's like the end of that bottle. Uh-oh. Guys, we might have to get creative here. Oh, that'll be fun. We could do a last word without chartreuse. That's always fun, because I think I'm actually pretty low on chartreuse. I don't even have any on set. I usually do, don't I? Am I in the shot? I'm out of the world, right? I'm over here. There's a big wall of booze over here. I should have a camera over here. All right, well, let's say it. Let's figure this out. If I'm not gonna do chartreuse, chartreuse is it's a spicy herbal thing. I could do a split of China. Oh, I missed a money thing. What? Dinosaur? Because of life, the universe, and everything. Wow. Dude. You get to tell me what I'm gonna drink. Dash of the red. I'm sure if I dig, I'll find a bottle of chartreuse, but I'd have to dig off camera for a while, so let's skip that. Thank you, by the way. Jesus. And then, what did you say? You've been watching for years. Oh, okay, they've made this much better. I can, like, the top chat thing is way better. And Reyes. A spicy one. I'm overthinking this. I have the system. I have the system. All right, let's do it like this then. Let's say, do I want gin? No, I don't. I want my favoritist spirit. Okay, I want a caipirinha. Okay, and then we're gonna mix this with, we need a sweet, look, we got lime for sure. By the way, this is Novo Fogo. This is, actually, you know what, since we're making a drink, we should actually switch to camera 3. Novo Fogo is a cachaça that I like very much. So that'll be our base spirit. And I need a lime, I have limes, and I need a herbal and a sweet liqueur. Something herbal, something sweet. Well. Okay, we're gonna do Amaro de Angostura. That'll be our stand-in for maraschino. It's already shaping up to be a phenomenal drink. And I need something a little bitter. a little earthy. Let's do a split of Fernet Branca and something to offset that. Ow, baby. Little Benedictine. And we're just gonna like go fucking nuts in here. Falernum to kick in some missing sweetness. Make it a little tiki. Okay, here we go. This is the most insane. Midnight Local is great, thank you. We're kind of steering it in a, people are gonna, I'm gonna have to explain this if I say, a different direction. That's not true. By the way, do you know about the How to Drink app? And that the fact that this show is brought to you by patrons just like you, and if I was at my desk, I could trigger the graphic that I animated for that. How to Drink app. I'm gonna show you guys that in a minute. I have been working night and day to the exclusion of all of my other responsibilities, to the point where Meredith and my wife and my children all want to kick my ass. We're gonna do an ounce of lime juice because all I've been working on is the How to Drink app. We have an app and you get it at the $5 level of my Patreon. And if you are one of the people, and I gather that there are some people who are using How to Drink as your personal cocktail guide and you want to follow along and make the drinks, but I've got 450 some odd episodes and it's really hard to remember what was in that drink, what was in that episode, how do I make the third way that Greg made a Mai Tai on the show. I really want to find that recipe again, and you don't want to go to YouTube. The How to Drink app is for you. The hand cam, it looks like it's in log with no grading. It should, it's a great question. It's not. I have to just turn on output. It's moving. It's very hard to do this. Monitor? Monitor? Output options? No. This is funny. Time code, meters, audio, date, battery. How do I adjust you? Monitor, input, output, meters, remote. There's a way to do this. Camera output, log via camera, HDMI source input, trigger that. Where the fuck is, there are monitor settings in here. I know this. I just cannot find them for some reason. Isn't this exciting content, guys? You're so lucky. You get to see me. Just because some idiot, no, I'm joking. Somebody was like, ow, hey, this looks crummy. LUT out, LUT on, LUT on. But you're showing the LUT right here. Why can't I do that? That's weird. Like I can see how nice it looks here. LUTs, display, monitor, tally flip, rec 709, LUT. We don't even need a LUT. We just need output to match. And I know it can. I know it can. I could do it another way. I mean, sort of. But that might break it. I don't know. We could do it this way. I can do it from over here. Why, guys? This is the problem with the How to Drink app, which is that I'm insane and I don't know how to quit. What do you guys think of this music? Is this too much? Have we lost the plot here? LDM on. There. There. I did it in the camera instead of the monitor. Are you happy? Are you happy now, JS2K? Ah. Okay, so I got 1 ounce of lime juice in my jiggery doodle. Good. We add an ounce of my beloved Novo Fogo. All right, we're like deep into the house here. This is kind of weird. I think we need to switch it up. I think we do. let's guys, music mode, I guess. I used to have like a whole list of like, here we go. Let's just do like vaporwave. Let's see if we can find that. Music, vaporwave. There we go. This should just, there we go. That's cool. This is like chill vibes. And let me know if it's loud or the wrong volume or any of that, because believe it or not, I can control it. I did put the Nova Fogo in here, right? Or am I about to like nuke my brains? Okay, and so we've got our Nova Voga. Okay, we're gonna do an ounce of Angostura. Here's the thing, I know that like the How to Drink soundtrack is mostly jazz, swingy, kind of weird stuff, but when you're doing a live stream, that will get old in your ears, I promise, because I've done this for a while. You will be like, oh, that's enough jaunty music, Greg. We just want lo-fi chill beats to study to. And so I'm gonna take my last ounce, right? So that is my, that's like a mix of sweet and herbal, whatever. This is brain, this will work. We're gonna do a third of an ounce Benedictine. We're gonna do a scant drippley-do of this here Fernet. And I mean scant, like essentially a dash. That's enough. And when it was scant, it was just enough like for a couple drops to slip down the side of my jigger. And we're gonna top that up with, yeah, I guess, whatever. Is this like too sweet? I don't know. We're gonna find out. So there's a crazy little package in that jigger. Let's get some ice in here, and then I can tell you about the app and all the reasons you should sign up for $5. Go to htdapp.com and check it out while I'm talking to you. And if you're a patron, you'll have access. And if you're not a patron, get it. Get access. So I'm telling you, it's the wave of the future. It's the wave of the future. The HTD app is, well, it's changing lives. Mine, and hopefully yours. God. I haven't had a drink in like a week or something like that. At least a week. I don't drink as much as people think I do. I really hope this isn't a piece of shit, because I'm gonna drink it. And if it's a bad cocktail, I'm gonna be annoyed. Well, here's to you, Internet. Oh, thank you so much, Honey Smoke. I love it. Yes. Ooh, man, that is fun. Oh my God. It's funny that your name is Honey and Smoak, because there's a honey note in there. Okay, I mean, that's a great drink. It has, yeah. So, I think this bottle of Velvet Falernum's gone slightly off, so it does have a strange aftertaste that I have grown to like. But it lingers. Happy fruit. Benedictine has honey in it? It might, yeah, actually, I never even thought about that. Probably. There's not a ton of it in here, but yeah, it's probably coming from the Benedictine. So, let's talk about How to Drink app. And this is gonna be tricky for me because I need to, in order to do this, I need to switch the downstream key to camera 1. And then ideally, if I can do this, output, multi-view, we want camera 1. That's perfect. Now I can actually kind of work this thing. So, if you are cool enough to go to htdapp.com, I won't stop donating till you make my last donation. Whoa, hold on, Andy. What does that mean? I don't see it. What are some tips to get good shots for drinks to make them look nice on a budget? Okay, I'll tell you what I can tell you, and that's turned off at the moment. The tip to get good shots for your drink. Actually, this is great. I'll put this on right now. You know, first off, the tips are to have a budget. Like, I hate to say this, but every time somebody's like, oh, how do I do this for no money? I was like, you have no idea how much money is in this room. But here's just a little piece of cinematography advice as I gotta move these out of my way, otherwise this won't work. Hopefully that gives me a clear shot. I have a beam back here, a spotlight, and lighting is pretty cheap. You can get away with cheap lights these days. Watch the close-up when I flip this guy on and target it. Liquids want, I mean, everything wants a backlight, but liquids really want it. When you do a 3-point lighting setup, I did title this, How to Make a Living on YouTube, and I should probably answer that question. When you do a 3-point lighting setup, right, because I've got my key light there, I got a fill light there, and I have a hair light up there, and actually I have another option for a hair light up there too. The most important light is the backlight. It's the most important light. When you start lighting your scene, my opinion, and I'm not a famous cinematographer, Start with the backlight, and then you can build in from there. You can do no other lights but a backlight, and it will work. Yeah, there's lime in there. It's great. It's an ounce of lime. It's an ounce of Novafogo cachaça. It is an ounce of Angostura de Amaro de Angostura, which looks like that, and you can get it from Curiata. And then it's like a blend of Benedictine, a drop of Fernet Branca, and Velvet Falernum. Anyway, the most important light is the backlight, because once you have the backlight cleared up, like defined, you can do whatever you want. You can do no key, you can do low key, you can do no fill, high fill, depending on is this noir or is this moody, whatever. But if you don't have a backlight, and I can show you this right now, you don't exist. You just disappear. You're talking strictly about, all my lights are controlled by my phone. You're talking about how to make pretty pictures, right? So let's do, where's bar hair, also called a hair light. It's set to 55 right now. If I take it out completely, I start to blend in with the wall. Now, I don't fully fall apart because there's a reflection here because of the way this wall is built and the way my key is set up, and also I have some light bleeding off of the shelves here. But without that, I don't exist, typically, you know? So you really, it's huge. And if you had nothing else, I don't want to do this, but here, I'll do it in the bar photo setup. Oh, that's the Nightmare backlight. So that's not a Nightmare, it's just the super laser beam backlight. Back beam, that's mostly used, I use that for photos when I need like a shaft of light to come through something. But I can fuck around in bar photo so that I don't. Here, we'll take out the fill and we'll take out the key. And you can see that I personally will, to me, right, without hair, we're really in the dark. But as soon as we start to bring in that hair light, you get a silhouette. That's the line. That is the person who exists, right? That is putting a person into a space, and without that, the rest is just illumination. It's the backlight that makes it lighting as opposed to being illuminated. Okay? That's me. That's what I've learned from doing this show for forever and a little bit of film school. 5 years of film school. But yeah, so this guy right here, a lot of people ask me, how come you don't do the bar light, the hole in the bar? I don't even have anything rigged under there anymore because stuff like this doesn't underlight well at all. It's kind of a gimmick, but I do have a beam back here. It's a backlight, and you can see when it's out, it looks like that. And, you know, it's on a dimmer. It doesn't need to be full blast. But like, it creates so much better separation because of the way it lights up the bar underneath the drink. And it's on an arm where I can reposition it kind of on the fly. It really lights up the drink, and if you can see here, this is what I'll show you really quickly. I'll do it with something I don't mind pouring a little out of because I don't want to waste the last minute of the photo. This is how I get these glistening, hopefully it's going to do it for me, pores that look like gold. It's because there's light shooting right through that. And without that light going through it, it doesn't look like that, you know? Without that light, it looks like this. Well, maybe it's making a little bit of a liar of me today, but trust me, dialing that in, huge. Backlights, particularly with liquids, particularly with slow motion, all that stuff, anything with particles in the air. Okay, so let's talk about How to Drink app, because that's really the purpose of this app, this podcast. I need to do this live stream, because I haven't been releasing episodes of How to Drink, because I've been working on the app, and as a result of that, How to Drink is even poorer than normal. So I've announced the app in a recent video of How to Drink, and I was a little bit premature, more premature than I thought I was. I thought I was premature, then I broke the programming that day. Oh, I'm half Home Depot pro for sure. It's 12:30 a.m. Why are you awake? Yeah, okay. I got out of bed at 12:30 the other night and went to work for 3 hours on the app. That was the night before last night. I caught you live, Ben Anderson. I love your content. I'm a proud supporter via Patreon. Mwah, thank you, Ben. And now on YouTube. You mean the $10? I don't have membership set up on YouTube. If I do, that's a mistake. Hello from a fellow Scotch ale enjoyer, Johnny Simmons, drummer. I used to be a drummer. I mean, I guess I still am. I just haven't played the drums in 20 years. Okay. Thank you, by the way. I do love a Scotch ale. Around Christmas. Now I don't want. Are you developing it yourself? Yes, I am, Andre. I am. And I don't know how to do it. And so I've had to learn. And actually, who has been really helpful? We have a Discord for the patrons, by the way. It would be really cool if you were in there, if you were a patron, because this show is supported by patrons just like you. In a minute, I'll make some drinks you guys want me to make. But I mean, honestly, though, if you have questions, I didn't jokingly. I named this episode How to Make a Living on YouTube. I'm happy to talk about it. If some of you have questions about that stuff. You wanted to be the tech guy, Chris? I'll tell you, cinematographer majors, they have jobs after school. If you direct major, unless you know. Anyway. So yeah, I've had to learn Python and somewhat and a lot of other stuff, but there's a Discord filled with, like, I call them the brain trust, genius sponsors. Hims. Why should I get Hims as a sponsor? Are you trying to say my wiener doesn't work? What is Hims? Is Hims hair or wienerish? And the Discord has been truly helpful in debugging and steering me right. And, you know, betwixt us, all us gals, ChatGPT. So anyway, this is the app. This is the How to Drink app. I built a parser for it that I am very proud of. I actually rebuilt the entire database today because the parser was so good that it was better than the manual entries. And I just let it ingest the entire How to Drink history. And there are, I think, now 1,300 drinks in here. I'm not sure. Watch, it doesn't work. So there's the drink list, and it just loaded in a second. Every drink I've ever made on the show. Probably a few are missing. Probably a few shouldn't even be in there. And you can get to any of them. Democracy Drafts Premium Light Beer, which was made for, oh, you want to know? It was made for Helldivers 2. There's the tag that proves it. I can save this drink if I want, because it's one of my favorite drinks, and I can go back to drinks. And now I'll show only my favorites. And look, so if you have like a favorite drink I made and you just want to have like 10 or 15 or 20 or 50 drinks that I made in your sort of back pocket, how do I get the app? You go to htdapp.com. It's web-based. And then you will sign up for Patreon at the $5, no, not App Store. It's web. It will be I'm improving the design and UI all the time. It's pretty web phone friendly. I have to add a gutter to the bottom because I don't like the way one of the buttons work. You can filter by ingredients, and what's about to open is a disgusting list of ingredients. I'm filtering this down as we go. And I think it's right now it's alphabetical, but these are now coded so that I can sort them by like base spirit and stuff like that. What's the highest ester rum I've ever tried? That's a crazy question. I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, Ray and Nephew must be high. I don't know the things. You can search by, like if you want to know about drinks with 17X extract in them, I'll tell you there's only one. Hey, what? Oh, I guess, yeah, I put it in 3 Mile Island iced tea. That's interesting. I forgot about that. Clear all of that. Let's see here. What do we want? Oh, that'd be fun. We could do a thing. Let's see. Allspice Dram we want. Let's do Ancho Reyes. You'll notice there's a couple of copies of that, so I'll actually hit more than one. I have to merge those ingredients. That's the thing I'm doing. I'm merging ingredients all the time. We're going to get it down to about a list of like 200, I think, and then some of those are like sub-ingredients. Can I do a search in here? I haven't put that yet. I should put a search in that. We'll do Curacao, but yeah, Campari, whatever. So you can filter your drinks by ingredients or by tags, which are an expanding thing as well. We're going to be adding stuff in there. There's like my favorites, Meredith's favorites. And so this is all in OR. This is OR format. So any drink that contains any of those things will show up here right now. But we put a toggle here so you can switch it over to and now of course it's finding nothing, because there's way too many things selected, but that means it's got to contain all of them. That is going to become much more useful. Apparently I've never used Campari and Allspice Dram at the same time, or at least not that iteration of Allspice Dram, the way it's entered in there. So here's where the state of it is. It's responsive, it's quick. For a while there, we had 130 drinks in it. My API calls were all fucked up and it took 1,000 years. And so, it's quick, it loads fast, it responds, it contains, I think, every drink I've ever made. There's probably 50 that are missing that I'm gonna have to manually enter. There's probably, And some of those entries are reviews, and we're going to be sorting them so that, can you research? Oh man, can you search by tasting notes? That's a great idea, LJ. So that is going to require a more advanced parser because there's no way we can do that manually. But Meredith and I were talking about a future version of the parser that used audio transcripts instead of video descriptions. So right now the parser runs all the video descriptions through itself and it extracts from it. It's pretty crazy. I'm very proud of it. It extracts the name of the drink, the recipe, and the ingredients. It will insert all that into the database. It will insert into the database ingredients that don't exist. It will insert units that don't exist. So the database is actually self-writing at this point. When it inserts drinks, it's like, oh, he used a sprig of mint. I don't have sprig of mint in my system yet. So now we have sprig as an ingredient unit. It just shows up in there. And that's like, you know, and then it'll reuse that and stuff like that throughout it. So it's not totally a mess. It can, this is the part that I think is nuts, based on context clues in the description of the episode, determine if drinks are cursed or not. So there's a cursed Boolean, which I guess is currently hidden. You should be able to just click cursed and show cursed drinks. So I have to surface that. There's a lot more in the background than is currently showing on the front end. It's about surfacing it and deciding what is actually usable or not. And so tasting notes is a cool idea. And then it also can determine, based on context clues again, what piece of media it's from, if it's from a piece of media. So this entire, everything in here was inserted by the parser. And it's funny, like I forgot I did a Destiny episode. I forgot I did Dark Souls, you know. Dead Rabbit's probably not media, that's interesting. Death Becomes Her, I totally forgot I did an episode on that, or drinks from that. And that's what's crazy, is that most of those drinks are not like, if you look at the video description, there's not like in where the name is, the obvious place where the name is, that like it is from a game. Like the Johnny Silverhand is called the Johnny Silverhand. It's not called the Johnny Silverhand from Cyberpunk 2077. Although Cyberpunk shows up in references in the video description elsewhere, the drink isn't. And the drink is what gets the tag from media. It does it by context clues, which I'm very proud of. And I shouldn't take too much credit for it because the way my parser is coded, we did an API call, we scrape all of the drinks episodes of How to Drink, pull all their data into a kind of a storage table. Then I have a parser. The parser, it does a little bit of cleanup on it, and then it invokes a ChatGPT API that I pay for, and it says, hello, ChatGPT, here is a prompt. I want you to read this thing I'm going to give you and extract from it this and encode it into JSON format exactly like this, to the best of your ability, infer, figure this out, use context clues, blah, blah, blah. And then that hands back stuff that's really, really tidy for a regex thing to do. And then that inserts into the database with multiple functions and stuff like that. So would it be possible to link to the clip? Yes, it is possible. In fact, it's already done. So if we go to Thai Basil Fizz, it will tell you what drink episode it's from right there. Please, usability aside, none of this is the version 0.8 look of the app. I have much nicer ideas for how it's going to look, but I need it to be 100% functionable and navigable first. And by the way, it's available for $5 a month on Patreon. So anyway, this is associated with the episode Disney World Drinks Made Better. If we click there, it will take me to the entry for that episode, which displays all of the drinks that are in that episode, hopefully. I think I did 5 in that, right? Yeah. And so we can go back to Tempting Tigress. You can navigate that way. You can then right here, it'll take you to YouTube. So I suppose we could actually do timestamped links. That would have to be done manually. Yeah, sorry, Chris. That's a crazy idea. The technology is possible, but we're gonna hire some data entry people to do it. Because I don't know how to make a parser do that. That's crazy. Yes, I do. because the timestamps are in the data that Meredith wrote into the description. We could do it with the parser. And then generate the links. All we need to do is look at how the links work on on YouTube videos. It's doable. It is doable. Is this an app where I can? Yes, it will, R-Beast. It will tell you what you can make with what you have. Although right now the ingredients set needs to be filtered, which I am doing. In fact, I could even show you how I do it if you want. And then I'll show you the background of this whole thing if you want to see the guts, as it were. And then, yeah, and so you can go to the video that way or back to the drinks or whatever. It's all kind of circular, so you kind of never find a dead end. Pretty happy about that. You can search by name of this is the episodes view. So if you notice, there's a drinks tag here and an episodes tag here. The whole database is either or, episodes or drinks, and you can search for what you're looking for in here. In either case, there's all the episodes. Episodes now are going to be capable of having different kinds. So not all of these are drink episodes. Some of them are reviews, some of them are story times. Some of them are actually like how to make syrups and stuff like that. That's not really a drinks episode. That's the thing I've been working on all day. I want to make it so that we have a syrup thing recipe in the database that is distinct from a drink recipe that can also be used as an ingredient in a drink recipe, which breaks Django's brain, and it's been breaking my brain for hours to the point where I'm just like a ghost dad in there. For the fiber optic fund, well, oh my God, thank you. Meredith's always yelling at me for missing the money comments. Ching ching, the money comments, ching ching. I wish it should make some sounds. God, I miss you. Ever mess around with Boilermakers? I didn't know that they were more than a shot and a beer, to be honest, so I've never messed around with them. Here's a cheers from a... Okay, cool, I didn't miss anything then. But the Boilermakers one. Greg! That's all capitals. You can't be live while I'm trying to go to sleep. By the way, have you ever tried making margaritas with añejo, tequila, and agave nectar? I don't do enough with agave nectar. I probably have some in my can thing. Greg, here's all thoughts while drunk, Greg. Is the implication that I become omnipotent when drunk? Like, can you pray to me in this case? Ooh. Are you gonna have a formulas tab so we can look up the formulas you provided, like your old-fashioned formula? That is like a version 2.0 thing. In fact, I don't even want it to be a formulas tab. I want it to be a drink maker where you pick a formula and then you can pick ingredients and it will narrow down what your options are as you pick. So it's like if you pick a last word and then you go with rum, or, well, actually, if you go base spirit on the last word, leaves everything wide open. But like you pick a base spirit and then you pick a modifier, it'll say, oh, that's your modifier? This is what you need. You need to pick from this for it to work. That's what I want it to do. That is a whole next level thing. The database, and so there's a database running on Postgre using Django, hosted by Heroku. That is a separate environment, separate app from the front end that you interface with. And they talk to each other. But the database could, of course, talk to other apps. And with the way the parser is working, and I'm thinking I could expand it and make it better, I can do crazy things in my database, and it's Postgre, so it's apparently like I could run NASA off this fucking thing. I'm thinking about like completely other data sets that could go in there. Like a lot of cocktail, like I was working on a data project taking every cocktail book I could get printed, for example, during Prohibition, and looking for what drinks were printed the most. Because I want to know not what's the most popular drink from Prohibition, what was the most popular drink during Prohibition. And I'm going to tell you, I think it's this thing called Dicky Dicky that I've never even heard of. It's so cool. So like there's a lot of things that building this is going to let me do. And I want you to have them for $5. Why do I do it? By the time I pay my scientists and my lab boys, Baby Billy doesn't make a dime. So then why do you do it, Baby Billy? I do it for you. I do it because I love you. So this is it's Dicky Dicky with a K. I think it's actually Swedish or something. It's like not as exciting as it sounds. It's DIKKY dash DIKKY is usually how it's spelled. I think that's the one. And I just kept seeing it in these entries in these books while I was like an earlier attempt to that. And I was just like, what is this? This is crazy. So like people love the bee's knees as a Prohibition drink and the last word, but the last word was invented at a place called the Detroit Athletic Club. And I don't know how popular it was. I don't know if it was popular everywhere. It's popular now. It's one of the better drinks from Prohibition, but what people were drinking during Prohibition? That is a question I'm fascinated by. How many people are watching? I think the midnight stream was a mistake. I think I should have gotten, oh yeah, only 360 people. This is rookie numbers. We usually have like 1,000. That's all right. I just gotta do a midday stream. Okay, so that is the app. And is it cool? I think it's cool. It's getting better all the time because I'm obsessed and I seem to never stop working on it. So is your app all a bodge? It's an already made app talking to an already made app to generate content. You're making things that aren't not meant to work together. Oh, no, that's how it works. That's like the ideal is you want your database separate from your user interface so that users never touch your database. You want somebody in between them because it would be very dangerous for me to let you touch my database. Here, let me pop this out for a sec over to here. If you guys want to see what the back end looks like, I think I can show you that. And in fact, we can even do some work. API, and it'll be cool. You'll see like some of the features that I'm kind of got in there that HTTP app dot. And don't worry, you won't see any of my environment variables. It's safe, admin, or any of my API calls. Okay, so this is my admin panel, and this is basically where the whole thing is. So we go into drinks, and we can see my drinks list here, and it's a type of drink is a feature in here. Greg is not a coder. Greg became a coder 3 weeks ago. Category, which is actually sort of defunct as a table. I don't think we were as a field. I think we're going to wind up not using that. Preparation method is here, and we can use that in sorting our drinks, right? If you go into the drink, like the 1850s cocktail, I don't know what that even is. For some reason, the back end is a lot slower than the front end right now, which I think is hilarious. I can't answer the question. Type of drink, name, category, classic, stirred. So this is what's cool. Drinks and episodes are many to many. That was a plan because I was like, I've made Mai Tais 5 or 6 times. Every episode with a Mai Tai in it should link to every Mai Tai recipe at some level so that you can compare versions. We have to do that, I think, manually, but it's doable. And I don't know if I'm going to abandon that or not. So like the drink entity is here and it is connected to the episode entity over here. I don't know how well you guys can see this. This is like a picture-in-picture thing. It should probably be the other way around. It should probably be, I can do that. We can swap me and them. So then I'll just do camera 4 up there and then we'll cut to camera 1. There you go. And live show is delayed, so I'm assuming that that's working correctly. Hi! Yeah, I'm up here in the corner now. There we go. Of course, I should even be smaller because, yep, for reasons. I need to switch this to multi-view, otherwise I can't do this. And slide me over. Okay, there we go. There we go. I'm just over here in the corner, and maybe I should go down to the bottom. I'm going to go down the bottom because there's probably important stuff at the top that's not at the bottom. Okay. There you go. And now I have to switch the output back to camera 1, which is my computer. Cool. So yeah, now you can see how this works better. You won't let me make you a little smaller just to fit, please? Whatever. Okay. There's the process pulled by the parser. Meredith wrote a bunch of them. Oh, and then there's a tag, needs review and cursed. Needs review means it hasn't been looked at by me or Meredith to decide that this is accurate and correct yet. You'll see that on the drink in the app. Cursed means it's cursed, and there should be a visual cue for that as well. I haven't put that in yet. Soak your sugar cube with bitters, add 2 ounces of Genever, 3 ounces of water. Oh, and right now everything is imperial, but the front end, or maybe I will do it on the back end, somewhere there's going to be a conversion for metric so you can toggle. Media, this is the entire set of all the media that Wood has found that I've made drinks from, which is kind of crazy. It's blowing my mind. Movies, comics, games, whatever. It could be associated to one, but it's not. Over here is the tags, and these are expandable fields, so we can add more. Currently, since no human has touched this, there's no tags. Here is how you enter our ingredients. Here's the quantities, dashes, items, whatever, units. That's unit FK because it used to be a character field, but now it's a foreign key. And then if you want to delete it or something like that. You can add more and blah, blah, blah. All of these things are expansible. And then what I'm working on, and this is what I was pulling my fucking hair out today, was the idea that we should be able to have a recipe that is a syrup, like how to make Greg's Orgeat, so that when we put, and then be able to put that as an ingredient in a drink, so that when you see Orgeat in a drink, you can touch it or it'll load right next to it, whatever, the recipe for my Orgeat, okay? And that'll be a separate entity. But it's really tricky because Django, by like default, can't do that. And so, I don't know, there's like probably some way around it, but we haven't figured it out yet. Here's a record of all of the user favorites. So user C4F, because people are using this right now, by the way, C4F731 whatever, because by the way, in case you're curious, I don't know fuck all about you in my user model. Oh no, that's the user favorites model. I'll show you what I know about a user, it's nothing. So anytime somebody favorites a drink, it goes into here to track that. People are not really using that much yet, but that's okay. It's early days. If you're worried about, you know, what does Greg know about me? The answer is literally nothing. I know nothing about you at all. Not your name, your email, nothing. There's a really fun little thing. I can't get your email from this because Patreon API call needs emails to be with brackets. But Django can't, or Python, somebody can't do brackets. They need them URL encoded, which is like this weird other thing. And then, but Patreon will not accept URL encoded brackets, and therefore I simply may not have emails. So I'll never know. I'll never know your emails. I will never be able to link your account to you. Isn't that fun? I think that's great. The video is messed up? What happened? How'd the video mess up? What are you talking about? And I'll show you it. I mean, it doesn't look bad on a phone either. If we go to inspect in Chrome, we can do this. And I can tick this little guy. And it's kind of annoying, right? Because I think if I shrink that, now there we go. And then responsive, and then pick it like, you know, a 14 Pro Max. So there's what it would look like on a phone. You go to drinks, there's your drink list. It's obviously really small because it's up here in a corner. Boop, and there's, so it looks pretty good on a phone, right? And it's only gonna get better. So all of this and more, behind the scenes content, access to our patron Discord, extra cocktails. I've been doing that lately. Like episodes now have like a bonus drink or two that I shoot after I hit cut on the main part of the episode, because like 20 to 22 minutes is really the sweet spot for a YouTube video. they wind up over on the stuff beyond that goes to Patreon. There's outtakes. There's just me talking to my phone and crying. If you want to see me crying, no, I don't cry on there. It's fucking lame shit. But man, never cry. And I could talk about that though. Somebody just said YouTube algo sucks. I disagree. And I'm a victim of it, but I disagree. And I did say that this stream is about how to live on YouTube. And so I should talk about that. But the first way to live on YouTube is to have a really excessive Patreon. So I really hope that this app is tickling your fancy. Does that mean Patreon drinks will be on the app too? Ruby, that's a really good question. A little bit more complicated because those are private videos and they're not accessible via my API, and therefore they have to be manually inserted. We haven't gotten around to it yet, but it has actually been on my mind. So it's something I'm thinking about. Yeah, and it's cool to see a late night stream. It shouldn't be. Should have been much earlier, but I am an idiot. So, but yeah, we can ingest episodes very quickly. But yeah, it's on my mind and I got to get them in there, and I'm stumbling around now like a moron. What was I going to talk about? Something about YouTube and stuff like that. But yeah, anyway, so we have a private Discord that is awesome. It's run by this guy, Dennis, who is fantastic. He is just a wonderful human who makes everything better. We're doing pins quarterly. We have a how to drink pin. Patreon, I finally does a minute extra 20. Greg releases much more than that with the Discord, the outtakes, the extra drinks, etc. Thank you, Labyrinth. I really do my best. You get the Discord, and I'm in there a lot. You get too much. I get dirty looks from my wife. You get the, do I have a bus bucket back here? I gotta go grab one. You get the Discord. You get the bonus drinks. You get the behind the scenes content, extended cuts. You get the vlogs. You get the app though. The app is the big one. We've been looking for something, a tangible benefit that we can give you other than just more of Greg for like a long time. And the app is finally it. There should be a drink called the algorithm. Are there non-alcoholic recipes? There are the non-alcoholic recipes that I have made, and they will be tagged non-alcoholic. In fact, it's built already into this. I just haven't done it yet because I burp repeatedly. Our ingredients have an ABV value in them. I have not encoded them into the ingredients because I'm still merging ingredients down, which is like a process. Because like I had like 500 different rums in there, and I'm turning them into one rum with subtypes for each rum, which is, I built a tool for it. I'm very happy. It works very nice. But like I would put in 80 proof for rum and 150 proof for overproof, because maybe even 140, I don't know. And it calculates the ABV of a drink based on that. We can make some assumptions about dilution. I have to tweak the algorithm, the equation for that. But I don't think giving you a specific ABV for the drink, other than 0, when it's 0, is actually that helpful. I just kind of want to break it into like, present it as like, you know, like a 4-point scale. None, easy going, regular, and whoa mama, you know, or something like that. Because I don't think you need more specifics than that, right? Like I think you just need to know, is this rocket fuel? Is this light? Is this right down the middle? Is this none? I really think that's it. You need 4 levels. You get 2 extra hours of content a month. Whoever was saying that HGD Patreon is not worth it, it's more than the one I support. Who said it wasn't worth it? I don't know. Yo, big Greg, how you doing, brother? I'm doing okay. Oh man, cocktail and music pairings would be fun. It's funny, I actually thought about doing a series of episodes just like where I just do a song as a drink, but people don't watch. Stupid life always get away. Night Owls, Patreon only does 1 extra 20. That's another one you'd follow. Do I use cannabis in my drinks? Not yet. I'm a little weird about that. Not using cannabis, but using it in a drink. I expect alcohol to kind of hit instantly, and it helps you gauge how much you're drinking. But like ingestible cannabis, like edibles, take like 90 goddamn minutes sometimes. And so I thought it was really weird. Didn't fart, that was my shoes rubbing each other. I thought it was really weird when I was at a bar recently and they had like canned cannabis drinks. And I was like, that's nuts. So if I'm sitting at a bar, I mean like they're priced different and stuff. I don't know. I'm just like, you're sitting at a bar, you might like have 4 of them, and then you go home and you're like, I'm in another dimension. So I don't know. I'm a little weird about that. Jay sending love from Monmouth County. You're not Jay of the Giants, Jay and Silent Bob, Jason. No. In Monmouth County. Do bitters count for ABV? They shouldn't. They're so, I mean, unless it's a big pour of bitters. It's a good question. I would have to also define the volume of a dash in the algorithm, which we currently haven't. I guess we could. It's like 5 milliliters or something like that as a dash, or 4. Yeah, you get a buzz and then you start tasting colors. I should not have had a 6-pack of those sodies. Woo! I would just time travel. I wouldn't have a chance to taste any colors. I would just be like, high levels of disassociation. How did I have this conversation? Oh, that's my mouth talking. Tomorrow. Have a shot of whiskey for the people. Completely different Jay. That's right, yeah. But also in Monmouth County. Send a love from Texas. I love Texas. I drove through the Panhandle. That's my exposure to Texas. I have not spent more time in there. Apologies. It's nothing against Texas. I just haven't been. Are we able to create our own drinks? Not yet, Abby. It's a question. Right now, no. I'm just going to say no. It's not really built for that. It's a cool idea. I think I would either have to expand the user model. I don't know how to handle that yet. But it's like a future feature for like after version 2.0. It's definitely not like near term. Any tips for someone who really knows nothing about drinks that went to college, private Christian, be kicked out if it were if you were legal and drinking? Okay, wow. Well, I hope you've recovered, first off. Tips on drinks. Seek balance, young man. Seek balance in all things. Don't drink too much. Don't drink too little. I would also suggest looking at it like a whiskey. I always tell people whiskey sour. If you're looking for what is the cocktail that's going to set my brain on fire, make a whiskey sour with an egg white, with Angostura bitters on top. Make it the right way. It will awaken you to the possibilities that the flavors of alcohol present. What cocktail would that Lafroig go into? Oh, that goes into a paper plane, which I don't believe I'm equipped for. But I suppose I could use the app to find out because it's all in there. It's really funny. I almost in my brain was like, I'd have to Google that off the top of my head. I'm not like a paper plane guy. Paper plane. It would be an ounce of Amaro, lemon juice, and Aperol. Uh-oh, it missed an ingredient because it's supposed to have a, oh no. Oh, it's interesting. So an ounce of Amaro. That's because I combined all of the Amaros into an Amaro, and the front end isn't yet equipped to handle the fact that now ingredients have attributes. So Amaro subtype Amaro Nonino is a thing. I have to modify, I have to do that. That's a good catch, guys. Amaro Nonino, Aperol, lemon juice. Shit. This parsed wrong. Embarrassing. Uh-oh. Because that is missing some serious ingredients. What's in this paper plane? Okay. Yeah, it's an ounce of whiskey. Cranberry juice. Oh. Woo! That's from a Cursed Cocktails episode. Ha! Ha! Yeah, it should be bourbon. I wonder what happened there. Let's find out. Paper plane, go to the drink, go to the episode real quick. It could be that Meredith wrote the description.
Today I want to talk to you about the drink that legitimately...
That could happen. That would fuck the drink, but I doubt it. Left hand, penicillin, paper plane. She did! So it's not the parser, Meredith! It's you! Thought my app was wrong. No, it's the children. Wow. Do I want to do more perks? Yes! I want to do them as non-alcoholics, though. I'm going to do them as actual sodas, I think, going forward. It was Meredith all along. Perhaps we were the Meredith all along. Reading the comments. Yeah, I only saw a little bit of Texas. Not only did I only see a little bit of Texas, I was driving as fast and as hard as I could on truck stop ephedrine through Texas because I had to drive 3 days back to New Jersey, no matter what. So I have a hallucination of Texas. I'm trying to follow the chat. Will you by chance? I don't know what that is, LJ. I'm sorry. LJ is a member of our patronage. He's in the Patreon and a frequent Discorder. Will you be doing more slow editing? Have I done some slow editing? I know that's like a thing now. People are talking about, oh, the slow editing. That's what we're doing now. Oh, maybe. Mainly, I mean, maybe I've gotten a little looser on the edits. Like, here's the thing. To the extent that I ever retention cut, I really just cut the way I like to cut, honestly. What do you think I would dislike about bartending in a commercial setting? Standing on my feet all day, having a real fucking job, having a boss, the smell, dealing with people at the bar, the hours. You ever work in a kitchen or a bar? The sound in my ears, it just never leaves. I'd be lying in bed and I could still hear the glasses clinking and stuff like that, and the dishwashing and everything. I can't do it, man. Did I give up the watch hobby? Not. I never could afford a watch hobby. I have a bunch of shark watches now because I love shark watches, but I don't often need to know what time it is. So, I love that Greg is getting the crashiest course ever in software development. Data corruption is the bane of all developers' existence. How do you deal with burnout on YouTube? Meredith is not in episodes anymore. No, not really. Meredith is not in episodes. I'll answer all those questions. Let's get into that. Let me do one more pitch for my Patreon. Oh, Baby Billy. Baby Billy wants you to know that if you go up to How to Drink App, htdapp.com, you'll find a link for the Patreon. I can't do a Baby Billy, but I love Baby Billy. Yeah, so $5 a month gets you access to the Patreon app. I mean, it's early stages, full disclosure, let's call it beta, but I am working on it tirelessly. You will see updates regularly, so regularly that I may not even let you know. I remember I did a bunch of updates today and I haven't done I've been doing like development, like app updates on the patron side. And I didn't even think to do one because I was just like so at the grind. But you'll get that, you'll get the Discord, you do pins every quarter, you're gonna get extra videos, you're gonna get extra content, you're gonna get behind the scenes, you're gonna get all that stuff. It's all for you, it's all for you, it's also all for me, because the revenue on YouTube has shit the bed. It has shit the bed. It's just, it took the bed and it shit right in it. I don't know how to tell you this. Motozuma, member of the community, thank you. I often don't know who you guys are on account of $5.99 shipping and handling for the app. Yes, that's right. It's $5.99 for the shipping and handling. Do you have a Patreon goal? Yeah, I do. I'm embarrassed to tell you what it is. It's not published. I'd like to double my numbers because that would compensate for what we lost on YouTube. On January 1st of this year, and it had been a bad last year, we were down, let's say, 1/3 of the typical How to Drink revenue on a month-to-month basis. We lost 1/3. Then on January 1, it cut in half, straight up in half. And I think that the reasoning is because that YouTube changed their search and subject authority and stuff. Like, they literally did change the algorithm on January 1 to run it on AI, new large language models. And that may have contributed to me getting a little fucked. I don't take it personally. I'm not upset about it. And we can talk about that in a second. But it did. And so I've really been trying to figure out how to make that back because I bought a house to make the show out of. And I'm standing in the studio right now that I pay for every month. And the show is not really justifying it. It all happened at the same time. Have you ever made a drink that you like enough to, no, I don't think that's what it, okay. So I'm gonna hold up on the drink answers for a second. I wanna talk about LLMs, I wanna talk about algorithms, I wanna talk about, like I said, making a living on YouTube. Let's start with the good. YouTube and Twitch are the best social medias. Let me get another drink. What do I wanna drink, fellas? And fellas and everybody. I mean, oh, but you don't even know how epic the studio is. There are 3 separate sets in here that I'm looking at right now. Will I bartend at your wedding? I won't, and you wouldn't want me there, I promise. What shall I drink? I got lemons and limes. Should we just do like another last word riff? Black Manhattan with Amaro de Ango. What's in a Black Manhattan? I hate Vespers. Oh, thank you, Nash. I don't have a watch collection. I could never afford a watch collection. The reason I had cool watches for a while was because I had to deal with that watch company that went out of business, and I can't even remember the name of them anymore, Crown and Caliber, where they would let me borrow a watch every month in exchange for some Instagram talking and stuff like that. There was like no money there at all. But I thought it was cool. I got to wear the watches. So I can't afford watches. I can't justify that. I have children. I like Shark watches because when I grew up, Shark watch was the coolest thing ever. And one day I said, I bet I could find one on eBay. And I found out they actually went back in business and they still make them and they can buy them. So I bought like 5. They're like 70 bucks a pop. Another last word. Let's do... what do we do for a last word that's a little different? See, here's the thing. I love rum. Kinda don't want another last word. I kinda... What is this shit? What is this music? This has got lyrics. We don't want this shit. Greetings from the Okanagan region, British Columbia, Canada. We've really enjoyed watching. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Up there in BC. I got a lot of relatives from the Miramichi, which is so far from BC that you may not know it. The East Coast. It might be the same song, sans lyrics, yeah. You mix all your spirits, you ever sip rum straight? I don't drink as much as you all think I do. We'll come to that in a second. Hold on. Oh my God, I just want to make a fucking drink here, Greg. And I have limited ingredients at hand. And I'm looking at the stuff to make a paper plane, but I'm not big on a paper plane, to be blunt. Feeling stupid and lazy. I don't know how that mint is still alive. It's been in here for like a week. Can I do something with that? Do I have orgeat? I don't have orgeat. Final word is what you're looking at there, Landon. Man, Greg, this is bad TV. Hold on a second, man. You can't just like stall your brain out like that. You can't just do that. That's not how you do the show. The show doesn't do well when you do that. I don't have any Ting, or I would just fucking drink Ray and Ting. That'd be dope. I kind of want another what I just made. It was good. It was really good. All right. Suggest a drink for me. 1, 2, 3. No, I'm not going to ask GPT. A rusty nail. Ooh. El Presidente. What do I need? I don't have that, but I don't need that. Do I have Lillet Blanc? Let me refresh my memory because I don't actually. Oh, that's interesting. We should have a back to drinks there too. Look at that, I've made it so many times. Rum, I don't have an orange twist on hand. Maybe we do a variation on El Presidente. That's a fun idea. I like that. So, I will switch over to camera 3, I believe. Yes. So an El Presidente is going to be 1.5 ounces of rum, but which rum? Let's go Demerara. Do you have a Demerara handy over here? I might. I do. Eldorado 12 would be very nice. This would be a very refined beverage. We're gonna get some Lillet Blanc, which I believe I see right here. Because that's my favorite way to make an El Presidente. I don't actually have any, I do have dry curacao, of course. Where is it? There it is. Is there any right behind me? Probably. I don't have any grenadine on hand, or do I? Maybe I do. I do. Oh, I'm just making El Presidente. I don't have an orange twist, but that's okay. I mean, I'll just do a lemon twist or something. It won't be as good. Yeah. An orange handy? I don't. All right, well, I'm not going to leave the set for one. 1.5. Whoa, whoa! Oh, I forgot I did that. That was so stupid of me. This was full of stuff. Ugh, it's gross. What is Gator wine? I never tried. I haven't done that yet. I should look into that. Oh man, I'm a big part of you picking up Butts McGee. Thanks, Butts. Sorry I haven't been responding yet here. Hold on a second. I've been bad about the chat. Been bad about the chat. You want to go to Ireland and order an Irish car bomb. I don't recommend it. Like, it seems insensitive and like kind of a dick move. You don't want to order a black and tan there either, from what I have been told. That is not an acceptable term. They would call it a half and half. Okay, 1.5 ounces of our rum of choice. Do we have like the close-up camera operating? I believe we do. Oh, but I don't have my close-up lights. We gotta have the close-up lights. Like I talked it all up, right? I need 1/2 ounce of Curacao. I need 3/4 ounce of Lillet Blanc. Tad off center. You picky fucks. A little grenadine. Now, you might say, oh, but Greg, can you use orange bitters instead of orange? It's really not the same thing as having the orange oil. There really is not, they're not the same. Do I have my peeler? I might do a twist of lemon, but. Orange. Yeah, that's how they pronounce it up here, where I'm from. The close-up, oh my God. The complaining. The close-up cameras have on the screen. I know. All right, sorry. Multi-view. But that's a good point. When I get companion set up right, this will work a lot better. Have I ever whacked the hell out of my hand while cracking the ice? Less than you would think, and I'll tell you why. It's because it's not that hard of a whack. I can give you guys the techniques. Hold on, I'm looking for a glass back here to see if I have one. I'd like a clean glass. There we go. One El Presidente for Mr. Greg. This drink brought to you by the How to Drink Patreon. Yes, that's right. You can sign up for the How to Drink Patreon by going to hddapp.com. Over there, there's something for everybody. That's right. Oh, man, WNYC is also in the middle of their playlist. As he used a bar spoon whack in bed. Not yet. Don't think that'd go over too well with the wife. I used to have 3. I took the camera off the ceiling because I wasn't cutting to it enough. Talking about camera angles. Right, I did that. So, what the hell was I thinking about? Oh yeah, making you spend money on my Patreon. Do it! Okay. That dog will hunt. But you know what? In the absence of the lemon, or absence of the lime, or absence of the orange, the lemon will kick ass. Just needs that brightness. Oh yeah. It's different than the way I usually have it, but that totally works. It's bright and balanced and sweet. It is, I didn't do this for the other one. I feel like a jerk. This is the job, Greg. This is what you do on the show. You give tasting notes. I'm going to tell you about the secret. There's no secret. Ah. It's balanced, bright. The lemon oil to me anymore often really brings to mind certain chocolates without ever, of course, tasting like chocolate. I know that sounds weird. It just, I can't explain it. You know, your mouth, are collabs worth it? They certainly can be. I did one that was pretty great for me. I'd love to work with that guy again. Babish. They're fun. They're good. I mean, the problem with okay, let me talk about this stuff in a minute. Let me give the tasting notes and I'll just start talking YouTube. It's very easy. It's very, there's orange notes. It is bright. It has a slight tartness. It is, did I even get the grenadine in there? I don't, oh yeah, I did. Mellow, woodsy, cozy. The orange makes it cozier. This makes it brighter. It shifts it into the different direction. I love it. It's very good. And it's the kind of drink I'm going to spend a little time with. So let's talk about YouTube. First question. Somebody brought up, oh, this glass? Why, this glass is available from Whiskey. If you go to whiskey.com and use code HowToDrink15 at checkout, you will get access to all of their stuff at a discount. I have to put this back onto camera 4, otherwise I can't, nope, I have to put that back onto camera 1, or else I can't see what I'm doing. So, collabs, are they worth it? They're always gonna be more worth it for somebody in the equation. So somebody's doing somebody else a favor, and there's nothing wrong with that, but it's just, you know, you want, especially if you're starting out, you're hoping people are doing you the favor. The other thing too is that, like, I don't know if they are anymore. I certainly don't think that they hurt. Let's put it that way. So the only reason that they would hurt is if, like, they impede upon your ability to produce content. So I did do a Babish collab many years ago. I went to his place and I made him some eggnogs. Toast to you, Abby. So they can be worth it. Unless it's a really special collab, don't break your back for it. People are not going to come to your channel, generally speaking, to see your guest. You being a guest somewhere else will get you exposure to their audience. Likewise, you will expose your guest to your audience. You will be able to send people to them a little bit. They will be able to send people to you a little bit. But ultimately, those people are there for your show, not that. You know what I mean? Like, it's probably not gonna do a lot for you. There's no reason not to do it. An Anders collab. Yeah, I mean, I will happily work with other cocktail bartenders. The reality, though, is that to some extent, I would rather work with people who are way outside my field. Like, I would rather work with YouTubers about makeup, YouTubers about cars, YouTubers, like, completely lateral moves, because I feel like to some extent, I think I kind of largely capture the cocktail audience. And like, if I'm not, then you know what I mean? Like, I don't know that I need more exposure in that space. This is a fucking gloat. Is it split screen? There's an insert, right? Oh no, the split screen is the How to Drink app. It's htd.com, htdapp.com. You go there, and you sign up for the Patreon, and you'll have access to the HDD app, which I am personally developing as we speak. I am constantly working on this anymore. It has become my obsession. It has every drink. It has every episode. It is searchable. It is cross-referenceable. It is insane. And if you use the show as your personal drink guide, it will be, I honestly think it'll be very useful because you can keep the drinks that you like right there. The UI is being worked on. There is a lot of data that is being improved. Usability will increase, I would say, exponentially over the coming weeks as I continue to work on it. So, can't sleep, so you're watching it. All right, Tyler, all right. Yeah, so that's my take on collabs and on guests. I would say try to get outside of your zone with collabs because you never know. Let's talk about the, I mentioned that like my revenue got chomped on January 1. I imagine a lot of other people were affected negatively as well. And it's not a complaint. A lot of people blame the algorithm for their woes. It's a mistake. It's a complete misunderstanding of the algorithm and the business model. Oh, and I mentioned before, all right, let me start at the top. The two best places to make a YouTube, like a video living on the internet that I am aware of is Twitch and YouTube. You know, if you have a really big following on TikTok, you're gonna get brands to pay you directly, and that's okay. It's not really the same thing as what Twitch and YouTube do, although because you can do those things on Twitch and YouTube. Twitch and YouTube sign a contract with you that break out, no, I'm not in the same category as GunTubers at all. They sign a contract with you. First off, GunTubers do crazy view counts. They do crazy numbers, Sam. So if you think that my channel is being suppressed like, quote, GunTubers, you're wrong. Those guys are owning the channel. It's insane. But if you think something else, you may not understand how the money works. Oh, the BLM had, yeah, I would love to work with him again. Okay, so those two platforms are great because you actually get a profit sharing agreement with them. I have a contract with YouTube that breaks down exactly what percentage of the revenues are mine to share and how that works. And the same thing with Twitch, although it's a little bit more opaque with Twitch, but not really, it's just harder to find the contract I signed. It's probably more opaque because I'm an idiot, not because of Twitch. So both of those platforms are cool. We get a real breakdown on our profit or revenue sharing with them. If you look at things like Instagram and TikTok, and this is of course last I checked, I'm not an encyclopedia. Maybe I am an encyclopedia, which means my data is out of date. But if you look at those other kinds of platforms that people are supposedly making a lot of money on, and I think that some of them are, they're not paid out, they're not getting profit or revenue sharing on those platforms. They are getting paid. I don't get paid by YouTube. We make money together because it's a revenue share. Okay, and I think I get 60% of revenues or whatever. With TikTok, what happens is they have a creator fund, is an industry term for it, and that comes out of the marketing budget. So execs say, hey, marketer, people whose job it is to bring people to the platform, here is your fund, figure out what the best way to use that is, and then they come up with ideas. They'll run ads. They will run research. They'll take some of that money and they'll say, okay, we'll make bounties. We'll tell people that if they get X number of views, they'll be paid this, you know, whatever. But that comes out of a finite fund, okay? And they can change their mind and you don't have a contract about that. It's more like winning a contest, right? I wouldn't bank on it. I don't know if I would bank on YouTube either. Yes, on all of these platforms, you can, somebody mentioned that they make it from sponsors. On all of these platforms, you can make money from sponsors, of course. You can work directly with a sponsor. If you have a big following, a sponsor will pay you money to talk about them to your following. And that might work out really well for you on TikTok or Instagram. It's just that it's putting all of your eggs in one basket. On YouTube, my YouTube video revenue, like the money I make from AdSense, generally speaking, represents a full third of the package. Then there's another third that is coming from working with sponsors. And then there's like another third that is coming from Patreon. We also get some money from Amazon affiliate links and very little money from Curiata. And that's not a dig against them. It's just like, it just isn't that much money, like a couple $100 a month. And Amazon floats, I mean, it can be like $1,000 or $1,200 a month. Once, I think on Amazon we made $5,000, and it makes me wonder if I'm not doing enough to push Amazon links, but whatever. And please keep in mind that, like, I don't know. Sometimes I worry that, like, I'm going to talk to people who think that's a lot of money. It's like, it is to get today, but it's not to live on. Yeah, so like YouTube AdSense is 1/3 of my revenue, right? So like that's nothing to sneeze at. And if 100% of my revenue was from sponsors, I would not have that YouTube AdSense, and I would have to say yes to more sponsors, which I never want to do. I would prefer not to work with sponsors for the most part. So we get those three things. And that's why I like YouTube and I like Twitch, although I'm not on Twitch so much because I don't like the grind of Twitch. This has no value after it's over. On Twitch, that means you have got to be live on schedule all the time. There are some great like Twitch coaches out there. I really like Epos Fox. And he talks about the importance of like not living like that and like reusing your content and stuff like that. And I think that that can be true. I just genuinely don't have the discipline for Twitch, okay? So according to LTT, Amazon gets shitty if you push the links too much. Maybe, I don't know. But anywho, so how to make a living on YouTube. First off, you have to have all those three things, and you will have all those three things if you have a following. I want to pause here and say, there are a lot of people who are doing videos and selling courses about how to get a following. If you sign up for this, I'll teach you. We got $5 Australian. Jerry Lewis, Nutty Professor, 19. Yeah, of course I've heard of it, the Alaska Polar Bear Heater. I've never done it because I feel like there's just no audience for it. You know what though? At this point, who cares? Nobody watches this shit anymore. I should just do it. But yeah, I know what it is. I liked that movie when I was young. Okay, so I was talking about the YouTubes. I was talking about, I don't know what I was talking about. You distracted me, fan I am, with your $5 Australian. Thank you, by the way, very much. But you distracted me. Can someone remind me of what I was talking about? I want to get back on top. People who tell you how to make a living on YouTube. They're full of shit. They are extremely full of shit. They're as full of shit as Grant Cardone and Luke Belmer and all those assholes on Instagram and TikTok telling you how to be a better guy, man. A man's man who makes $1 million. They're all full of shit. If you give me the money, lady, I'll tell you how to make money on YouTube. That's my Jerry Lewis. It's bad. So, yeah, just a word of advice from an older man, an elder millennial. Word of advice. Anybody who's really rich is not going to waste their time on podcasts. They're going to spend their time on a beach. So if a fella is on a podcast telling you how to make a living and how to make money, and if you pay them some money, they'll make it happen for you, they are full of shit. So Grant Cardone, all of his money came from the Church of Scientology, apparently. I don't know what Luke Belmar's deal is, except that he has waxy skin. And who are the other ones? I'm trying to think about, like, I guess because I am male, TikTok and Instagram push this shit at me, and it just makes my brain bleed. I've seen dudes actually talking about how you can't be taken seriously unless you drive a supercar. There is nobody I take less seriously than people who drive a supercar. I will take you... I will disregard your supercar if you trailer it to the track and compete in like SCCA racing. That's fine. That's actually kind of cool. If you drive a supercar, I assume you are a fucking clown. a hypercar, you know, like a fucking whatever. You know, whatever. I would much rather hang out with a dude who drives a square body truck. This son of a bitch mostly rust, but all together. The unironic alpha males. Yeah, they're the worst. But they're all selling how to be an alpha male. There are a lot of people who are selling courses on how to make a living on YouTube. There are people who are selling how to maximize the algorithm, how to do this. Dude, you know, I know in the back of your mind, if you're thinking about listening to these people, and I fall trap to it too, because occasionally maybe there's a cool glimmer of an idea that I can borrow from. But like, I'm sure that in the back of your mind, and you're hearing that, you think, but why don't you just have 1 billion subscribers? If you've cracked it, why don't you have 1 billion subscribers? And I have paid analysts to help me make sense of the YouTube analytics. This is where we're going to get into cybernetics. And some of them occasionally had glimmers of wisdom and insights, but for the most part, like, you can't systematize this shit. Samuel Goldwyn said, nobody knows anything. I don't know, whatever it was. Let me just respond to Butts, who just dropped $20 in my pocket. Greg, I love your content. Pop quiz. My friends don't seem to like the complex hobbyist cocktail. Psycho Killer was not a hit. Halloween party coming up, and I want to make better, long, sweet cocktails. Any ideas? Well, I mean, roll out a classic. You know, make painkillers. You can tell people it's the grown-up, more mature version of a pina colada, and it will be interesting and cool, and you'll be the sexy, neat cocktail guy at the party, and also they'll actually drink them. They'll actually love them. I always do painkillers. Dude, when my friends come over, you know what I make? Mai Tais, painkillers. I'll have a zombie myself, and my one friend's wife loves Irish coffees, so I always make her Irish coffees. I make stuff that's very accessible. And what I drink when I drink is daiquiris. I drink dark and stormies a lot. I maybe have 6 old fashions a year anymore. My bourbon sits over there looking very pretty. Painkillers for Halloween parties, perfect. Yeah, we're gonna do a Halloween party probably in February. So I think that if you make somebody, again, like, don't make them weird avant-garde cocktails, because they're probably not ready for that. Make them the whiskey sour with the egg white and the bitters. Make them that. It will fucking blow their mind. It's really funny. We went up to my friends, my wife and I are friends. Man, this is such a New York story. My wife and I are good friends with this other family because our daughters were born about the same time, and we shared a nanny when we lived in New York City, because that's the affordable way to do childcare. You have to share a nanny. We can't afford, you see, to deal with actual daycare or something like that. We can't afford it. We share a nanny because one child costs X, but 2 childs don't cost X times 2. But we were visiting with them, our sister family, and I kept talking up like, you guys want some daiquiris? I'm gonna make daiquiris. We're making daiquiris. And Laura was like, I guess. Okay. And when I started shaking them up, she's like, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm making daiquiris. She's like, oh, I thought you meant strawberry daiquiris in a blender. And I was like, oh, no, you don't know. So like basic, what you consider to be basic cocktail shit as a cocktailian is gonna blow their fucking mind. Make a real daiquiri for somebody, you know what I mean? And they'll be like, what is this? I thought daiquiris were garbage. Whiskey pours are great for getting some extra protein in. Whiskey sours, oh, shit. Rafik, I thought you were A to C'ing some, never mind. There's an A to C there about whiskey sours being great for extra protein. You know what, man? Lay it off, let it go. Or a real margarita, exactly. Cocktailians? Yeah, I like cocktailian. That's a word I like a lot. So, Nobody knows anything. They can't tell you how to make money on YouTube. In fact, there's a Discord called Partnered YouTube where a lot of guys in there are trying to do these faceless YouTubes where they're like farming out stuff and it's just faceless AI shit and voiceover and blah, blah, blah. But it's run by, and I forget their name, some fucking ad agency that out of the left hand, brings me to my next point, don't deal with these people, runs a multi-channel network, and out of the right hand is an ad agency. And they are, when you deal with that, it's like having your agent be your producer. You are negotiating against yourself. It's an insane conflict of interest. I cannot stress enough, do not get in bed with a multi-channel network. Neo Celestia, what a beautiful name. Neo Celestia, it brings to mind 1990s new age, futuristic, solar punk, new ageism. Any recommendations on unique cocktails that feature bourbon or whiskey outside of the usual suspects like sours and old fashions? Oh, well, I mean, we've talked about it. I would say that, so you didn't include Manhattans in your assessment, and so I will say Manhattans. No, The Last Ward by Philip Ward, proprietor and operator of PDT, famous and wonderful cocktail bar in New York City, is a whiskey-based variation on The Last Word. Kind of a sour, but I'm going to put it in there as a great variation. I would also throw down Sam Ross's Paper Plane. Not my favorite cocktail, but definitely a excellent bourbon or rye or whatever whiskey cocktail. Also his Left Hand cocktail, very nice, with little chocolate bitters in there. It's basically a Boulevardier with chocolate bitters, and to that a Boulevardier, which is a Negroni with whiskey. By the way, a Boulevardier, what does it mean? It has nothing to do with bourbon. It has to do with being a man about town, a Boulevardier, a dandy, a fellow in a top hat with a cravat and a stick blade and 4 girls on each arm. What are favorite cocktail bars in Key West? Caroline, oh my God, Other Side has been gone for years. It kills me. You lived in Key West? Oh, my 3-year-old was just telling me, I want to move to Key West. I shed a tear. I was like, I want to move to Key West too. Other Side was so good, Timbo. I can't believe it's gone. General Horseplay is great for classic cocktails. I was grabbing fucking $10 Mai Tais to go from the Tiki House every day when I was there. That was the shit. I get the $10 Mai Tai in a plastic cup from the Tiki House and push my double stroller back to the house we rented. That was a great time. that was living. Oh my God, I fucking love Key West. Sorry. That's my real home. I belong down there. Key West, man. When you're driving down to the Keys, you know, I'm sure I'm going to offend some of this audience, but whatever. It is red until you cross the bridge at Cow Channel. And then it is Key West, and it is just a lot of fun. It's a very different town. Actually, the state legislature, when we were there last time, tried to dissolve the township, the city. They're like, we want the county to take it over. We won't want them having their own thing going on. It didn't pass, but anyway. Okay, people who tell you how to make a living on YouTube are pieces of shit. They don't know what they're doing. Just like the people who tell you how to make a living being your own bank and borrowing money from your life insurance to buy houses that you don't live in. Loving Daiquiri, since you saw me when I tell people that they always get a look if you like those fruity blended things. Well, they're wrong, Wall Pinkerton. So, the algorithm. Everybody wants to talk about the algorithm. I think to talk about the algorithm, I first have to talk about what is YouTube's business model. YouTube is an ad agency. YouTube is an ad agency I want LJ as a patron. HDD is becoming steadily more Patreon dependent. Can we get more niche stuff like pre-code movies and drinks to go with them? Yes, but it has to become HDD. It has to become Patreon dependent first. So, but sure, when that happens, LJ, you bet. Actually, talking about niche content, Meredith and I finally convinced her to let us do with Midnight Local what I've always wanted to do, which is to talk about weird and obscure movies that you don't know about. We're going to be talking about trauma films. We're going to be doing sexploitation. We're going to be doing underground, fucked up piece of shit VHS grindhouse movies. All my favorite things. I'm done talking about movies people give a shit about. I always piss them off. Anyway. So, let's talk about YouTube's business model. YouTube's business model is that they're an ad agency and they are the ad server. They sell ad space. That's what they are. So when you think of YouTube, think of them as a magazine in the 60s. Think of them as a newspaper. Think of them as a TV channel, right? What their business model is to sell their audience, who is the product, you, to their clients, the advertisers, okay? I actually happened to read a couple books on this. Confessions of an Ad Man and My Life in Advertising were really like eye-openers for me and super good to read. A big old billboard, sure, whatever you want to call it, Garrett. So that's the business model. Any social media platform, the product is you. It's you. It's you. Anything you're not paying for, and actually some of them that you are, the product is you. So think about it in those terms, right? YouTube's job is to take money from advertisers and sell you. You are their real estate, their eyeballs. And advertisers come to them and say, hey man, I want to buy some eyeballs. And YouTube says, which eyeballs do you want to buy? And they say, I want to buy the eyeballs of 18 to 24-year-old men who have at least 2 years of a college education, speak English, make $36,000 or more a year, and live within 2 hours of a major market, being LA, Chicago, New York, etc., etc., etc. And YouTube says, oh, no problem. Here are those eyeballs. How many do you want? I want 1 million pairs of those eyeballs. No problem. They're for sale. Now, the thing is, at any given moment, many people are trying to buy those eyeballs. Would I consider Ryan Reynolds a corporate shill? No. You can't be a shill for your own companies. I would consider Ryan Reynolds to be a corporate mogul. He'd be a shill. You know who's a shill, and I hate to say it? Oh, shit. What's his name? Not Denzel. Denzel's not a shill. Anybody who does ads for DraftKings, they're shills. Okay, so you're the product, the enforcer. Keep talking, just keep talking, keep talking. Dead air, no dead air. Shaq, no, Shaq gets a pass. Shaq gets a pass. Shaq, I don't care, he gets a pass. I don't even like basketball, I just kind of like Shaq. Jamie Foxx bums me out because I see him doing ads for DraftKings, and I'm like, but I like you, man. Why are you doing ads for like a fucking predatory gambling network? And I also complain because I've done like a couple of ads that people were really pissed about. Oh, is it almost 2 a.m.? Fuck me. And nobody can complain in the comments of an ad for DraftKings, but in my comments, Greg, you made a couple of dollars from a company I don't like. I hope you die. Fuck you. Anyway, so YouTube's business model is you. They sell you. They sell those eyeballs, those 18 to 24 eyeballs that have a couple of years of college and make $36,000 a year or more, probably $76,000 a year or more, and live within 2 hours of a major market. But Company X wants to buy those eyeballs, and Company Y wants to buy those eyeballs, and Widgets Incorporated wants to buy some of those eyeballs, and there's only so many watch minutes of those eyeballs to go around. So you're gonna have to bid like eBay. And so all those companies come in and they say, I want 40,000 impressions. I want 1 million impressions. I want 150,000 impressions. That means an impression is a look at your eyes. I want these people to see my ad. They don't have to watch it. They don't have to click on it. They just have to be exposed to it. And I'll pay this, but not more than that. And it's just like eBay. And everybody's bidding. And if you happen to be serving a market that people are hot for, okay? We really like 18 to 24-year-old boys who play video games and have money to burn. We love them. If you're the channel where they watch, you might get really kind of a lot of money on those views because you're serving a lot of views that are expensive. Now, here's another part of this that I think is really important that you don't notice. Yeah, and I didn't ad for BetterHelp. I can talk about why. They paid me some money. And I said no 5 times, and then they came up with enough money that I had to say yes because my YouTube revenue got cut down to a fucking third of what it used to be. And I thought, hey, people like therapy. There's nothing wrong with therapy, and I didn't ad for them. What can I tell you? Anyway, so they bid up those eyeballs, right? And so the ads you see when you watch a YouTube channel or anything online, because this is the miracle of internet advertising and why the internet is so hot, is only in your player. It's not on my videos. It's just for you. Every person who watches my videos is going to get the ads that are for them. It's targeted advertising. So why do I care about that? Well, I care about that because if the hot market, okay, well, let's go back. They all bid up these prices on demo sets, right? And if it's a demo set that's in high demand and there's not a lot of it to go around, I want rich people who buy commemorative plates and silver coins, who own 40 guns and have $1 million in the bank. And there's not a lot of it to go around, and a lot of people want to advertise to it. The price can go through the roof. Okay? If there's a lot of this audience to go around, and not a lot of people want to buy this audience, the price will hit the floor. Okay? So, and it's all bidding. It's all bidding, okay? And the number that we call that price is CPM, coste per miglia, which is Latin for price per thousand. It is the price per 1,000 impressions, or ad serves, if you will. And generally, on How to Drink, my CPM hovers between $7.30 at the top of the quarter when we're starting a quarter, and it'll climb up to maybe $10 a quarter, $10 a CPM at the end of the quarter, unless it's quarter 4 when we hit $12, $14, $15 for that CPM at the end of the quarter. And you can watch it. Boop, boop, every quarter. Boop. You know why? Budgets reset. Marketing departments, they have to spend their money at the end of the quarter or else they don't get a new budget at the beginning of the quarter. And at the beginning of the quarter, we're all starting over. And they have flush cash and they've got a whole quarter to spend it. And the price drops. I guess I'll just stop watching your videos because my views aren't worth a lot of money. That's not true. That's not true. So Blazer Nitrox, that's a different stat actually. You're talking about revenue per view. I said cost per impression, but not every view relates to an impression, and some views relate to many impressions. How many ads were on my videos last time you watched them? Each one of those is an impression, but YouTube as a platform is pretty good at knowing when an impression might convince you to not watch the channel anymore or the platform anymore and leave. And so they try not to do that to you. So it is it's actually pretty decent. I have been told that if you're into tech reviewing, crypto, or finance, you can hit CPMs of like $20, $30, $40 a CPM. That's crazy. But maybe it's a smaller audience. I don't know. Views not equaling impressions was so weird to learn. Well, I mean, it's only on the internet, right? Like in magazines, newspapers, and traditional media, views and impressions are the same thing. Only on the internet can they be differentiated. Okay. How much do I make from the ads during a stream? I don't know. I think that, oh, it was showing me a minute ago and I hit refresh. I think we made like $200 on this one so far. $200, I'll take it. I need it. But, okay, so, okay. Leo gets what Leo wants, Leo gets. Okay, here we go. So, so if you think about it in that way, the audience is the product is you, the buyer is the advertisers. What is the creator? The medium. We are the medium. We are the newspaper. And so how does that mean that the platform is rigged? Not rigged. Rigged is the wrong word. How is it oriented? What is the function of the platform? The function of the platform is to keep the viewer, the product, as much product in the platform to create as much real estate to sell, eyeballs are real estate, as possible. So the algorithm does not pick winners and losers on the creator side. It feeds viewers whatever makes them watch for as long as possible. The algorithm has no agenda other than make money. That's the agenda. There's no right-wing agenda on YouTube. There's no left-wing agenda on YouTube. There's no pro or anti-gun agenda on YouTube. None of it. The agenda is to make money. Period. YouTube Premium affects my channel's revenue. It's fine. It's the same as ads. So, what the algorithm does is it surfaces videos. A viewer goes to youtube.com. No, they don't. They go to patreon.com and they go to patreon.com/howtodrink or to the htdapp.com, and they peruse the How to Drink app. They peruse, I say they peruse the How to Drink Patreon, and they consider giving me their hard-earned cash so that I can eat and feed my children. And what they're going to get in return, oh, I say it, what now? What are they going to get back in return? Why they're going to get in return? Secret behind-the-scenes content, extra cocktails not available to others, access to a private Discord. At the $10 a month, they're going to get a quarterly pin. They're going to get access to the new and built the newly built HTD app, which is up here in the corner. That's right, I'm building it myself with all of the hours of my life. Every day I sit at my computer going clickety, clickety, clack, and I look at the world outside of the window and think, I'll do this. This is how my time will be spent. And that's what you'll get. Yes. So, this show is, of course, supported by patrons like you, just like PBS is. We are an important public good. So, is there a document with recipes, Black Label? There's an app with recipes, and you're going to have it at the $5 a month level. Why do I do it? Because I love you, because I care. Not because of making the money. No, because I need to make the money. Okay, and that's just the facts, man. I got to live. Everybody's got to live. You know, How to Drink used to support like a team of editors. I now have to do all of the editing. Me and Meredith's wife and Meredith's child and my children and my wife and the editors, and a lot of people have to make a living off of How to Drink. It's a whole little, well, at one time it was an empire, now it's a tiny family business. Greg lives, oh my God, Greg live from Key West. The police finance, the house I'd like to rent is about $7,000 a month. Anyway, please finance, Greg live from Key West. I give you all of the thingies. It's not an app in the App Store. You just go to htdapp.com. It's web-based. The App Store is not necessary. Okay. So let's get back to how this all works. The viewer is you. The medium is you. The product is you. The medium is me. And the client is the advertiser. The way that the YouTube the rhythm of the YouTubes, the algorithm is built for surfacing, the surfacing of videos. You go to youtube.com and you will see 8 thumbnails. YouTube has selected those for you, just for you. And it said, what we know about this person, we bet they're gonna like one of these. Now, YouTube's job is to keep you on YouTube for as long as possible so they can sell your eyes as many times as possible, because that's how YouTube makes money. YouTube does not care if Greg, How to Drink, lives or dies, or your favorite gun channel or tobacco channel or, you know, Democratic Socialists of America channel or Damn the Man channel or whatever. Has no agenda except for the fact that this. Advertisers probably don't want their ads to appear on some channels. They probably would be pretty annoyed and stop
buying space on YouTube overall, you know, Microsoft, like think about the big clients, right? The big people who are buying ads, right? Like beer, I don't know what's on. I actually don't know what they advertise for on YouTube. But like if, you know, it was a conspiracy theory video, if it was a video about blowing up school buses, if it was, you know, whatever, and like all of a sudden it was like, we're the ASPCA, adopt a dog. And then it was back to like the blowing up the Blue channel. They're gonna be like, you know what? We're not putting our fucking ads on YouTube anymore. Fuck those people. They have no control over their platform. They're putting my shit where I don't want it. I don't have any control over where my ads go. I bought these eyes with this kind of content. I don't want to be associated with that. I'm out. Well, when there's fewer people buying ads on a platform because it's in an open bidding market like eBay, demand goes down, price goes down. Period. Fact, right? That is it. The goal is to make money. And to do that, they have to have ad-friendly content. They have to have lots and lots of people watching. So when people say, YouTube's suppressing my content, they said it wasn't ad-friendly. Fucking A, man, it's not ad-friendly. You're on an ad-based platform. You're making non-ad-friendly content. My content, believe it or not, is completely ad-friendly. I don't know about, quote, somebody was like, oh, I think you're in the same category as gun channels. I'm not. I don't know if their stuff is or isn't ad-friendly, but I know mine is. It's green, top to bottom. We love the ads. Question for the app, Greg. Will it have a liquor cabinet feature that will show recipes based on what the user has? It has like filters, so you can like tell it what you want drinks from. I don't like a liquor cabinet. Personally, I think that's a bad UI. I think it requires maintenance. I think it requires a lot of data entry for the user. I don't like it. I don't like it. What I think would be neat is an LLM-based computer vision model that lets you point your phone at the bottles that are on your bar and then it tells you what's available. And I'm working on it. That's very far in the future. I've done very preliminary tests that suggest it will at least be possible. That I think would be neat. I think that you having to go, I have a bottle of this, I have a bottle of that. Do I have a bottle of that? I do have a bottle of that. Yeah, I guess I have lemons, I have limes. How many different syrups do I have? I think that's the worst UI, and I hate apps that work like that, and I never use them. So the app will make you cool and get you laid, actually, Tubbly Tim. So there you go. Does the app have a Malort section? I mean, Malort is a spirit, and you can filter by Malort drinks. So it doesn't work by sections. Here, look, you want to know about Malort? Hold on. I would have to, so we're working, I have to combine ingredients a lot to make this work. They are alphabetical, so if I scroll down to Malort, it's in here. I don't know how the alphabet works, so I'm just looking at the M's. Where is it? It's gotta be in here. Malort, there it is. Oh, look at that, there's only one. So now it'll only show me drinks that are made with Malort. This is a disaster. I understand that this is a disaster if you're seeing it in the show. I hope you are. And it's not how it's gonna be like soon. And there you go, there's my Malort-based drinks right there. So, tips for Dora, Malort. Right, so people say that the algorithm is fucking them or me. It's not. So what does the algorithm do? Well, the algorithm says what content makes people watch, what content makes this person watch. So the first thing is, when you go to YouTube, there's 8 videos, 4 and 4, basically, that's the rule. On mobile, it's like a different thing. Well, did you click? If YouTube offers you a video and you click, that ups my click-through rate percentage, CTR. If YouTube offers you a video and you don't click, that doesn't up my CTR on that video. On that video, only on that video. So our goal as YouTubers who are trying to make money on this is to create thumbnails and titles that so hijack your attention that when you go to youtube.com, whatever you were planning to do is gone. And you see that thumbnail and title and you say, I gotta click on that, because what I want is a 15% click-through rate. I want 15% of everybody who has offered that video, offered it by YouTube, to click. Never happens. My best days, I've once hit 11, and it's insane. Stance. I didn't see it click. I usually hit between 6, 7, maybe 8 is good these days. Hence clickbait. Well, is it clickbait? What is clickbait? The definition of clickbait is you clicking on something that it isn't. If I say, I got so-and-so's tits over here, and you click into the video and it's me talking about parsers and coding, well, that's clickbait. It's a bait and switch. If I say to you, I've got a drink that you must have in your life, it'll change your worldly perspective, you're gonna get what you want. That's not clickbait. If I tell you, this is the most scrumtralescent creation from God's own bosom straight into my hand, this is liquid gold. You will drink it and you will have the deepest of thoughts. You will have insights into the history of mankind. You will experience what Plato, Socrates, and all of the great thinkers of the history of mankind once knew. Alakabra will be yours, whatever that means. That wouldn't necessarily be clickbait, but it's a bit hype. Give me some pointers with shots and shit, or are those bottles fake? No, they're not fake, because you would tell. You don't know why you would know, but you would know. If these were water, they would have bubbles in them, and you would say, that doesn't look right, that doesn't look like whiskey. Whiskey, like spirits, don't bubble the way that water does. They would have a different, like light would bend through them differently. Believe me, I wish I could fake it. I can't. I just can't. I have to do it for real. So, the first thing is, did you click? Oh, this video makes people click. This video is getting a lot of people to watch. This video is selling some ads. This is keeping the cows over here on our channel. This is doing the shit. How long are they watching for? They're not watching for very long. They're clicking in and getting out. That's watch time, expected watch time. Well, this is clickbait. That's how YouTube knows it's clickbait. That's how YouTube knows you were promising Pamela Anderson nude. Always my 90s brain. Pamela Anderson nude. Didn't even want to see her nude. And you delivered videos about trains. Okay? That's clickbait. You clicked, but you jumped out. Clickbait. YouTube is not interested in that. They want watch time. You clicked and you watched. Aha. That's value. That's value. And then, how many videos did you watch? Did you get off the channel, or did you stay on the channel? If you stayed on the platform, and then this video made you watch the next 2 hours of YouTube, oh my God, you'll have golden content. We're gonna show this to everybody. This video inspired people to watch for 6 hours. They lost all the plot. They quit their job. They sat down on the toilet and their legs went numb and they died watching these videos because they were so good. That is the golden standard. I hijacked your attention span and then lulled you into a zombie-like state so that your entire life passed by and you didn't even know it. You were stuck there watching my videos. That is what YouTube wants. So, and not because they're picking winners and losers. It's because they're picking themselves as the winner. They need people to watch. Have you ever grown hair to your shoulder? Yes. When I was in 8th grade, I had long hair, and puberty had not yet taken hold. It was a bad time for me. I looked too feminine. In fact, actually, a friend of mine years later was looking at a vacation photo of me and said, I didn't know you had a hot sister. It was me. So no, I don't have many pics of that. I had longish hair, maybe to my shoulders. There's a couple of me in Jamaica. And so you understand why YouTube Shorts is a big deal. Ad revenue for us on Shorts is garbage. Garbage. Absolute garbage. Absolute garbage. But yeah, as a platform thing, Shorts are huge. But for us, it's garbage. Our CPM is shit. Our ad revenue share is shit. Everything about Shorts makes you no money. And if they drove people to your long form content, it would be another issue because that's where you can make some dollars, but they kind of don't. Yeah, and so when people say that the algorithm is fucking me, it's like, dude, you just gotta make better content. It's not the algorithm. The algorithm wants you to succeed. It wants all the creators to succeed because the more success there is on the channel, the more viewers there are on YouTube, the more real estate there is congregated in the YouTube, the more they control the market share. If YouTube controls all the eyeballs on the internet, Nobody has any ads to spend, to buy. YouTube can set the minimum price on their ads as high as they want. There's nowhere else to take your money. That's a great deal. They have a monopoly. Well, that's my job, is to give them a monopoly. That's all of our job, to give them a monopoly. When you make content that doesn't give YouTube a monopoly, you hurt us all. You make garbage content. To get promoted. It has nothing to, see, you're missing my point, Jailhouse. You need a ton of shorts to get promoted. No, has nothing to do with that. YouTube isn't picking you for promotion. Your videos are succeeding on their own merit, or they're not. Has nothing to do with YouTube saying this channel. No, no. What would be, it's users. It's the users that are not choosing my content. When my videos fail because they have a 3% CTR, that's not YouTube shitting on me. That's people looking at my stuff and saying, nope. That's not YouTube, that's me. That's me. Yeah, younger people are drinking less. That's my own fault. I have to do better, right? To some extent, it could be YouTube's fault. YouTube could be offering my audience to the wrong people. That can happen. But it's not something YouTube wants to happen. That is YouTube fucking up. And if they're doing that, you have to trust the idea that, like, that's bad for their business. They want to do a better job. They want to not have that happen. Drunk ranting Greg is the best. Greg, this is gold. I've seen your videos being shared around more than ever, yet your rev is down. It's weird. Yeah, I mean, like, the CPM is pretty flat. It's not my rev, it's my viewership. My viewership is... I used to hit about 3 million views a month. I mean, I was like hovering between 2 and 3. Now we're about 1 million views a month, which is bad. That's a third. That's a third. So, not a lot I can do about that. Young people are drinking less. Yeah, my fault. It's funny too. A lot of people, like, I've seen comments in like Reddit and stuff like that about me, and people like call me an alcoholic and stuff like that. You have no idea how little I drink. I kind of don't even enjoy it. Yeah, I'm not much of a drinker anymore at all. I mean, certainly there are days when I can really throw it down and have a good time, like today. I had 2 drinks. Look at me stumbling around. I think the people who think that Greg is an alcoholic, A, don't know any alcoholics. I know a lot. And B, think their teachers live under their desks and have no life outside of their show. You know, when I walk away and end my show, I'm not making my show anymore. There's a whole world out here behind the camera. Yeah. Did I do any drink? No, Top Tell. I was a total loser. No, sorry. I didn't drink in my teenage years. I was a square. I was a real square, and I was not fun, and I did not go to parties, and I was not a cool kid. I was an angry, what's the word I'm looking for here? Goth. And I did not, how dare you have a life? Yeah. How much money would I have to pay to come to be a drink crash test Tony off of camera? I don't know. Hold on. No, you know what real alcoholics do? They don't have bottles, Ratchet. They have empties. I grew up with an alcoholic, you see. And we never had a bottle of anything. We had empty bottles at the end of every night, and then we had to buy more every day. That's alcoholism. I have some 500 bottles back here. Most of them are pretty full. So, yeah, the episode where Greg samples 50 types around, that was a drunk Greg, hilarious, and I knew I was witnessing potential YouTube tragedy. Oh, well, that's funny. You have a midterm tomorrow. Study. You were a goth. I wonder what that would look like if it continued today. I would be a fat old goth, and it's a sad thing to see. I would have to go back to like the goth shops and buy my goth clothes all over again because I don't have any of them anymore. Flannel Greg was a goth? Oh yeah, man. I was like safety pins and spider webs. Welding goggles and big boots and all that shit. Your video about the horrible trip to Disney World was a rough one. Oh, thank you. It was fun. I mean, in retrospect, it's a funny story, right? Can we get some goth pictures, or is that patron exclusive? I don't have any evidence that I was born. Would you ever consider hiring an editor again? Yeah, when I have the money to do so. I hate editing. So for reals, me taking over editing of my channel was like a $6,000 pay cut for me personally. There are people out there who will you can hire people in developing nations and pay them $150 per edit. You're gonna get very bad work and you're exploiting people. I hired editors that I used to work with as an editor and I paid them a somewhat reasonable rate. Why don't you dress up like Goth Greg for Halloween? Because I would have to go buy Goth Greg clothes. How much did the original 2 Fallouts influence you as a person as a whole? A lot. Hellraiser character, yeah. I broke up with my girlfriend of 4 years. Oh, I'm sorry. Any advice for me? Drunk and really sad. Life seems meaningless. Oh man, Tristan, that sucks. I'm sorry. It's not meaningless. It's gonna get better. If you broke up with her, or she broke, whatever, you're not reminiscing about her. You're reminiscing about the idea of her. You're reminiscing about sex on the regular or semi-regular. I'm sorry. Yeah, man, you'll be fine. Have a drink, get out, get laid. I hate to sound like a boomer, but honestly, I think it's the best thing for you. Will AI help you with editing soon? I haven't written that software yet, so no. What's my favorite character class? Rogue, obviously. I don't want to deal with fucking magic. I just want to break into shit and do what I want. What made you decide this YouTube channel specifically? That's a great channel, Elizabeth. Great question, Elizabeth. I went to college for film. I was a film student. I majored in directing because we had multiple concentrations. I could have been an editor. I could have been a screenwriter, but I was a director because I kept asking my teachers, what jobs are there for directors? What can I do with my plan for a career when I get out of here? Because unlike a lot of these other kids, I have to pay my bills. I went to school a little later and I was a real, which military branch have you joined? I was an 11 Bravo Papa 2 Charlie in the United States Army. For briefly. I had a parachute accident and that ended it. And so I became an editor because my buddy Jesse Averna, who graduated college a year ahead of me, was an editor, and he got the job of being the editor of Sesame Street. The man has 12 Emmys or something now. Hua Infantry, yes. 11 Bravo Papa 2 Charlie would be Airborne Infantry Javelineer. And I didn't want to be a Javelineer, they just decided I would be one. I was like, my God, I don't know what to do. I was living with my then girlfriend, now wife, who was like, maybe you should find an income so that this relationship will work. I was really stressed out. I couldn't get a job on set. All of the contacts I had that could have gotten me into being a PA had dried up. I didn't have them. I was driving a tow truck because I had previously been a repo man, and I was like, I saw a help wanted sign on a tow truck and thought I could do that. I was driving a tow truck for $25 a job. It was a fucking joke. Things were rough, and I had tried to get a job at Restoration Hardware and hadn't gotten hired, which was insane. I still am pissed about that. Those fucking losers think they didn't need me. And I finally said to my buddy Jesse, who had been telling me for years, Greg, you should be an editor. You'd be a great editor. Why won't you let me give you editing work? I have a full-time job on Sesame Street. I have clients who want me to work with them that I cannot work with because I'm not available anymore. Please take this work. And I was like, I'm not an editor. I'm bad at editing. I'm not good at this. And finally, I was so tired and so hungry and so just miserable about it. I went up to my computer and I got on Andrew Kramer's website and I learned everything I could learn about After Effects, and I became a swing who could edit and who could do motion graphics and compositing. And then I said to my buddy Jesse, all right, I'm gonna take your editing work. What do you got? My first gig I made for Chase and the Whale, which is some video blogging old movie review guy. I made him some interstitials for free. And then that led into a connect through Jesse to the We Are Family Foundation, which is a nonprofit that is run by Nile Rodgers' wife, and lovely people. And I worked for them for $150 a day for a while. And then that brought me back into the city, and I started reconnecting with people from SVA who were better at running the connection game than me. And I found out that, like, oh my God, if I like land a couple of real gigs, like through this guy who now is a producer at this ad agency, I can get paid $500 a day. And so I would snatch up those whenever I could and make $150 a day at the We Are Family Foundation every other day of the week, commuting to the city. Oh my God, it was like a 2.5-hour commute. It was awful. And I kept doing that and that and that, and then expanding my network. And then, you know, don't disappoint people ever when you're doing this work as a freelancer. Don't let people down, always over deliver. When someone recommends you for a job, really make them look good, just like career advice. And yeah, let yourself get taken advantage of. Work some overnights, work some crazy hours, don't get paid enough. It's unfortunate, it's reality. I didn't have any other way to make a living. And I had a girlfriend who was becoming a wife, and I had bills to pay, and it was fucking real life. And so I became an editor, and I finally landed at this place called Jalbert Productions International, which did, as a family business, had an office in Soho, New York, that did sports content, but probably not sports content you're familiar with. And I was their editor for three and a half years. So I was their full-time senior editor. I ran that fucking post-production. And I hated it. I mean, I didn't hate it. It was better than all the other jobs I had, which was like jobs like repo man, tow truck driver, union stagehand in Atlantic City, security guard at boxing matches, guy who works at a pawn shop. I had a lot of like jobs. Riveter in a factory. I did some Nike stuff. Yeah, LJ, yeah. I've done some Nike stuff. And I did all, and so it was like the better job I've had. The only other job that was better was working at this little movie theater in Brooklyn Heights, and maybe when I was in high school working at a state park near me in maintenance. And neither job paid any money at all. It was just like, man, this is like what life should be. And so, but I also hated it. Like, I never wanted to be an editor, and I do think to some extent that's why I was successful at it. I had no ego. A lot of people who like want to be editors, they have real creative input. And so when a director is like, I think you should do this, I think you should do that, I don't like what you did there, they would be like, well, hold on a second there, I think you need to understand. And like, no, man, I would just be like, you pay me by the fucking hour, I don't give a shit. Whatever you want, baby. You know, and I would deliver quality work at that. I pushed back sometimes. I pushed back a few times. There was one edit for a sports publication owned by Derek Jeter, and I forget who it was. It was for some basketball player, and they wanted me to cut it in a way where I was like, "That's fucking racist," and I got really pissy. I was like, "I'm not going to cut that, and you're going to get the edit that I'm going to deliver, and you're going to have to deal with that." So, and it wasn't like maliciously racist. It was like, you don't know that's racist, but that's racist. Favorite intro to a movie. I'm going to come to that. Don't worry. Why did you not like it? Well, I didn't like the grind. I mean, it's a 12-hour day. It's understood at that time when I was working that a day rate of editing was 10 to 12 hours. A production day is 12 hours. So if you're on set, you're working 12. If you're in post, you're working 10. So I did 10 hours a day, every fucking day, doing somebody else's work. And it sucked, and I had no job security, and the money was good. It was okay. I can't complain about that at all, but it was like a fucking grind, man. And it's like, there's nowhere to go. And then what happened was I was like, I don't want to do this. But in a former life, like forever ago, when I was pretty fresh out of high school, a friend of a family friend got me onto set as a PA at a place called Michael Schramm and Company. And they did tabletop cinematography for food commercials. They were one of the two, Michael Schramm is one of the two, or was one of the two, big fucking names in tabletop photography, which is like your close-ups of food, your close-ups of makeup. Like the first job I did there, they had this rig where we were exploding salads for a Wendy's commercial. And so I had like exposure to this, to shooting on the close-ups, the slow motion, all that stuff. And so I knew how that worked. I knew how to light for that. I knew how to shoot that, all that stuff. Hi, guys. And I thought, okay, there's work in commercials. I will make a reel that says I know how to make commercials. But also it'll be a cocktail show, because right now I'm kind of into cocktails. And also I believe that if I'm gonna put into effort into anything, it should be more than one thing, so that I can maybe make it a YouTube channel. I don't know. Maybe it'll get me work as a commercial director. I don't know. All I know is like this fucking editing for other people is not going anywhere. To some extent, like I kind of hit the most I could make in the city as an editor without really cracking the golden egg, without like landing the sweet gig, without somebody fucking dying who's been editing this show for 30 years. In the commercials, industrials, in like the space that I was working, social media, there really wasn't much better to do. And so I did this show, I did 7 episodes shot in my living room, and I said, if I get 1,000 subscribers, I'll make more. And then we lost the free camera. And then it took me like months and then Stefano, who owns a piece of How to Drink with me, said, I will get you a camera. This is good. And he found me a free camera. And for a while, it was me and him making episodes every few months. We would make a bunch of episodes and release them every week. And so it was like, we would do that. And then Meredith got involved, who was a college friend of mine, because I was like, I don't know if I can handle all this. I know I'm gonna need somebody else that's I'm hoping it's growing. And like, why did I keep doing it? It wasn't making me any money. I actually resisted monetizing the channel, because at the time I was like, I don't wanna watch a fucking YouTube ad. No one's gonna watch my channel. No one's gonna watch my channel if there's ads on it. So like literally I was qualified for ads on the channel for like 2 or 3 years and I wouldn't turn them on. And finally I did, and actually the channel did better. And I didn't know what it was gonna be career-wise. I just knew, well, it's growing. So I'm not gonna stop it. I'm gonna keep doing it. I have nothing else. I have no other eggs in any baskets. And finally, Butterbeer happened and a collab. I thought this was Fisher Spooner for a second. I was like, holy shit. It's back to like 2004 and I'm listening to Emerge. What? Finally, a few videos took off and we moved from the city to New Jersey and my cost of living dropped dramatically and it became my full-time job. Okay. But the viewer gets ads whether you're monetized or not. I don't know about that. Sin. If you want to get good at editing, make it your whole income and you will die if you don't feed yourself. What's my next video idea? I have a bottle of Old Bay vodka in the next room that's gonna be, we're gonna see what we can do with it. Have I ever been to Cecil in Singapore? I don't really fly on airplanes anymore since the army, and I've never been to Singapore. Why aren't you drinking? I had 2 drinks and that's enough, and I don't drink as much as you think I do, and I drink more than I think I do. Full circle, if your video has lots of ad potential, YouTube will promote it more. Yes, kind of. I had my first drop of alcohol at 30. That's cool. I was later. You hinted at Meredith not being on the show. Oh, why is Meredith not on the show? So Meredith was on set prior to the pandemic. Prior to the pandemic, How to Drink had a crew of like 6 or 7 people, depending on how many we hired for a block of episodes. Then the pandemic hit and I couldn't have those people in the room anymore. And I very quickly had to retool the show with motion control systems so that I could shoot it completely solo, which is what we have going on now. And for like 1.5 years or 2.5 years or however long that shit was, it was just me. And then Meredith was like, I think it'd be easier if I came out and helped you. And it was true, kind of, because the studio setup at the old place sucked. There was a lot of stairs up and down and the sink wasn't nearby and stuff like that. And so she was on set and then she started talking from off camera and I mic'd her and people sort of had responded to it. And then I gave her a camera. But all the while I was watching analytics and trying to decide, like, is this helping retention, click-through, and watch time? Is it neutral or is it hurting? The answer is it was neutral, which means if it requires any additional effort at all, it's not worth it. And so the reality is, it was a lot of extra effort for her to come to set. It was very helpful because it was not an environment where I could easily work alone. So she would come out and rent a hotel room, when we would shoot. But it was high effort. Then I moved a little further away, and she had a baby. And at that point I said, look, this isn't helping retention, and it's even higher effort, and it's more stressful. Let's skip it. And so that's not why she's on the show anymore. She still owns the show with me. What's the most difficult part about running a drink-based channel? Having to drink and film the episodes all the time. Speaking of moving to Jersey, I'm moving to upstate New York with friends who own a place and keeping rent cheap. That's good. Some people loved Mara on the show, some people didn't. Do you have any customers? Meredith has a list. Yeah, for customers always wrong. I need to do one. I've been doing stuff that's a little bit easier to shoot because I've been shooting and editing solo and developing an app and also trying to launch a soft drink company at the same time. Scriptless, raw, Greg is great. You love the stream. Thank you. Where does the show go from here? More live content. Live content's been good to me lately. Maybe not the midnight streams, but I promised myself I would do one. I should probably be streaming in the middle of the day. So yeah, I'll probably get, I'm trying to get one of these a week. Understandable. I will miss the Meredith interjections. Well, why don't you get on to Midnight Local, the podcast that me and Meredith have together. What made the other job satisfying for you when you thought, wait, what made the other job satisfying when you thought this is what life should be like? I don't know. I don't understand that question, but I want to answer it. See you later, Neo Celestia, your beautiful name. I have a soft drink plan. I'm not going to say a soft drink, but where can you find the podcast? You can find it anywhere you find your podcasts. You can also find it at youtube.com/midnightlocal. How's the toe you broke? Actually, believe it or not, it still hurts sometimes. A bit more highbrow than the customer's always wrong classic cocktails. Midnight streams help the folks who can't get goddamn sleep. I guess that means it puts you to sleep. Great. We're good at banter. That's why we have a podcast now. I can't make this thing stop popping up. There we go. Meredith and I are good at banter. We went to School of Visual Arts together. Okay, I guess I gotta answer this. I'm not making a soft drink. I have a soft drink lab set over there, and I'm gonna make soft drinks on the show, and I'm gonna sell them to you, this is my plan, in limited releases. So there's gonna be new flavors and beverages all the time on the show. So stay tuned. I work during the day, so the evening streams are good. How did I meet Mara? At SVA, School of Visual Arts. Do you plan on making drinks based on famous YouTubers? I thought about that for a long time, and I haven't done it yet. That's the end of that story. Favorite spots in New Jersey? Off the top of my head, I can't think of. I don't want to do that. Got to get on that FOMO. Greg, midnight streams for people. Did I talk to you? More NA. The NA videos perform so poorly. It's insane, but I think I'm getting better at that. No, the sodas are not going to be patron exclusive. They're going to be money exclusive. They're for sale. They'll be for sale. No way, dude, L. That's a huge L take for L. New Jersey's awesome, man. New Jersey is the best state, honestly. If I could justify moving to another state with better weather, I would, but New Jersey's got it hands down, especially if you're a parent. You liked Ranger Greg. The sponsor liked it. Greg's a total club rat. I wish. My club days are so far behind me, it's sad. I'd like to go back. I don't know if I'd have fun. Have you heard of VTubers? Yep. I feel like it's a sex thing. It's weird. Have you thought about putting out a cocktail recipe book? I just put out a cocktail app. It's an app. That's the book. Go to htdapp.com and sign up with Patreon. A drink for The Sopranos. I watched the first episode of The Sopranos recently, and it didn't really click for me. When Sopranos was airing, originally, it was the early 2000s. I was like fresh out of basic. I was repossessing cars for a living for a family in Atlantic City with a very Italian last name. And it was just like a little too close to home. I wasn't that interested. And now that I watch it, I'm like, I'm not interested either. We will not be shipping outside the US as far as I know, Ruby Star, and I'm sorry. I like the heat in New Orleans. I do too. Why create a website as opposed to a fresh app? Webs are harder. Fresh app. Because I don't know how to make an app, and I know webs are harder, and it's better this way because I can update it in more real time. apps are easier because you download all the data. I have a live database that you are accessing, and it's fast. And it was hard to make fast, but it's fast. Oh my God. Thank you so much, Jesse. Yeah, I mean, I've thought about doing a book, but like, if you look at like the money on it, I think if I do a book, I'm going to self-publish. I don't think it makes sense to go with a publisher unless you're very famous. Apps are just websites and a wrapper. They're not though, because an app can download all the data, whereas my website can't. Oh, thank you, Vlad. You got to at least watch the first season. It's so good. Bet you won't farm homemade sassafras for root beers. Not anymore, I won't. No, I've learned a lot more about sassafras and I won't use it. How much will the app cost? Okay, I'm gonna try to explain this one more time. The app is a patron benefit. You get it through my Patreon. It's $5. It's the $5 level. Duke-a-da, Doc-a-dee. How many people are still watching? I can't tell. It's been pretty steady. Electron apps are actually just a website. That's true. 364, man, that's incredible. What's the deal with sassafras? Well, it's a carcinogen, turns out. Sign up on the Patreon. You gotta get on that Patreon. I don't know what kind of voice that was. Electron apps are good damn hard. Would you ever want to make a video game? Sure. I'd love to be a voice actor. If you're not hooked on The Sopranos after the pilot, you're not going to like it. It just thought it felt played out. I was like, okay. I mean, like, I felt like I don't need more. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, mobster needs therapy. I get it. It's a good short film. It's a good short film. I don't need more. I get it. There's a movie for Peaky Blinders. I kind of fell off. I think I watched the first season of Peaky Blinders. Isn't alcohol a carcinogen? It's a good question. I don't think so, but it is correlated to having more cancer. It's like, is high fructose corn syrup a carcinogen? It's not. Is obesity linked to cancer? It is. Does having lots of sweet things lead to obesity? It does. Therefore, is sugar and high fructose corn syrup correlated to cancer? They are. I'd be a great voice actor. Well, thank you, J.S. Okay. Yeah, I'm not going to do sassafras. Let's see. HDD Simulator. HDD Simulator would be just you staring at analytics, miserable. If Tim Kaine did a game, would you be a voice actor in it? Tim Kaine is doing a game. I hope. I don't know. My God, man. Nathan Talisian, you've done 10 of these? That's incredible. Thank you. Yeah, alcohol is an actual carcinogen. Anyone got a Ouija board? My God, man, my mom was obsessed with the Ouija board. Crazy people. I was raised by crazy people. Greg, I want to thank you for making the show. It's gotten me into the craft cocktail. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, yep. It's a type 1. I don't know what type 1 means, but I guess that means hardcore carcinogen. How come hamsters never die from natural causes? Just die from some dramatic incident. Deep questions. God, I don't know. Why are there lyrics in this song? This is so stupid. Why not do a video on The Godfather? I mean, The Godfather's come up on the show a few times. What's your favorite cocktail to make and your favorite to drink? Mai Tai? Mai Tai. Mai Tai. I love Mai Tais. Mobster drinks would be a great episode. Thanks for making weird cocktails, too. The first cocktail you made hooked me. The Slurm, I want to revisit Slurm and make it as a proper soft drink. I don't know if you already answered this, I missed it, but do you want to be a director? Not really, honestly. It seems like it's too much work. People always ask me, why don't you open a bar? And I'm like, that is way too much work. I don't want to do anything like that. Oh my God. Oh, interesting. Type 1 strong causal link, but it doesn't say anything about the likelihood, which is a common misconception. That's interesting. If there isn't a drink called a Tommy Gun, there should be. I'm sure there's several. Find out what Larian is working on. Yeah, I mean, it's a hard thing to get into, to be honest. Even if you have a few connects, it's hard to get into. I've been making beer for 10 years. I never want to open a brewery. I believe you. I think you know what you're talking about there. I don't know what that means, the Too Short album. Rico, you're acting like I'm leaving. I'm not leaving. If you make legit slurm with that soda business you're working on, sign me up. Well, now what if the episode said, hey guys, I love Futurama and I've always wanted to make slurm, but I can't make slurm, but I can try because I don't have a giant space slug to poop it out for me. But maybe I can make something inspired by slurm. And then at the end of the episode, I said, you can buy Greg's Worm Cola. Would you buy that? Say something your ego would say. God, I'm attractive. Oh, that's amazing, Eyes of Sin. Tom Lehrer, hell yeah. Hell yeah. I love Tom Lehrer. Will you ship drinks to Hawaii? I don't know the answer to that yet. That's a complicated question, actually. The only other drink channel I know of is Johnny Drinks, and they seem uptight. They're like local to me, actually. They're right around the corner from me, if I'm not mistaken. And we know people in common really weirdly. Like, it's a small world, not even through YouTube. My buddy, who I grew up with, is an engineer, and he worked with Bruno, who might be on the channel a lot, who's an engineer, and I think is actually their grandfather or something. So like, yeah, like it's a small world. Educated Barfly is pretty cool. I like him a lot. He was on the channel. Well, I've often maintained that slurm probably is like honey, actually, because of how it's made. Oh, no shit, Johnny, Justin. I have not played Space Marine 2. I probably should get around to it. Favorite goth rock band? Bauhaus. Fucking A, man. Bauhaus all the way. Susie and the Banshee says a couple of hits. In high school, I definitely spun a lot of Typo Negative. But Bauhaus is the king. They're like legit, very, very cool. Believe it or not, early Duran Duran, you know, they call it New Romantics at that point, but like they're pretty fucking goth, honestly. Like New Romanticism and goth kind of spun out of each other, and then Duran Duran, after their first album, weren't, quote, New Romantics anymore. Nine Inch Nails is not goth. I'm sorry, but I do love Nine Inch Nails. Nine Inch Nails is industrial rock, and of course I was a Rivet head. I was super into that as well. Einstein Neubauten, I was into, and am into Nine Inch Nails and KMFDM and all of it. Yeah, Typo. My girlfriend's girlfriend. She looks like you. My girlfriend's girlfriend. She's my girl too. Yeah. I love Oingo Boingo! Oingo Boingo is like the best fucking band ever. They are so good. V&V Nation. Okay, so I was never into V&V Nation, but they got spun a lot at the fucking clubs I used to hang out at. And yes, I mean, sure. Oh, okay. I wasn't into V&V Nation, but I was very into And One. So I love the Panzermensch. Bionicles and Animorphs. I'm too old for that. Never got into him. No, it's the wrong vibe for me. I'm sure V&V are fun live. 99 Red Blues overrated? Absolutely not. Voltaire. Dude, okay. I'm going to paint the picture for you, peekers. First off, Voltaire actually taught at SVA. He taught animation stop motion? He taught some kind of animation at SVA. So, like, really weirdly in the same circles. But, okay, so I was a goth kid who did not hit up clubs. I was not like going out goth. I was just like a mall goth until I went to one semester in Philadelphia before I joined the Army at the Art Institute of Philadelphia. Not the Philadelphia Art Institute, which is like a real art college, but the Art Institute of Philadelphia, which is a chain of for-profit colleges that I never should have gone to. But I had a great time there, and I went to one semester, and I didn't know what to do on Halloween, and I didn't know anybody in the city, and I didn't have any friends around, and Halloween was my favorite holiday, and I had seen a flyer for the Halloween party at Shampoo thrown by Nocturne, Dracula's Ball. And I don't know, yeah, Voltaire the singer. And I don't know if it was like the first or second or third annual Dracula's Ball. And I said, well, I don't know what else to do, so I'm gonna go to that. And it blew my fucking mind. It was the coolest fucking, I mean, to date, maybe one of the top 20 coolest nights of my fucking life. Yeah, it was everything that you ever like imagined a movie goth thing industrial club to be was there to extreme degrees. It honestly, like, then I found out Friday night was Nocturne and I started going regularly, and like regular Nocturne, nothing like Dracula's Ball. Dracula's Ball, absolutely insane, okay? Everybody was absolutely decked out. There was this thing they called the Rialto where they were selling all kinds of like cool fucking fetish and goth wear and shit. The costumes people were wearing were fucking insane and fucked up. There was a couple who came as like Cenobites, and all they were wearing in the club, this man and this woman who were like painted fucking white, was not fucking joking, sheets of pleather that they had cut and safety pinned through their flesh to themselves. I mean, it was fucking wild. It was wild. And the bands that played that night were Voltaire, Rasputina, blew my fucking mind. Absolutely insane. And I wish I could remember who was the third act that night, but Rasputina, man, I love Rasputina. Rasputina was so fucking good. Rasputina, surrounded by the fucking vampires, on the three cellos, fucking laying down, fucking the old headboard and whatever their song. It was awesome, dude. It was so cool. I was so fucking hooked. I was like, I don't have a costume anymore. Every year I'm like, I'm gonna do a costume this year, and I never do anymore. But yeah, man, I used to hang out. Oh yeah, it was like goth, yeah, for real. I used to go dressed in this like straight jacket that I bought on St. Mark's Place in New York. In my boots, I would paint my hair white. I would wear these like polarized military repurposed goggles for like, they had like a knob in the middle to make them darker and brighter. I think they were for looking at nuclear explosions. I would wear the straight jacket. I would wear my Nine Inch Nails t-shirt underneath it. It was cold. I had like a sweater that was all full of safety pins and shit. Like, I never did makeup, honestly, and I never painted my nails because I kind of liked being able to take it all off. I never got into any piercings or anything like that, but like, oh yeah, man, it might, Cradle of Filth. I wish I could remember what that third band was. I don't really have that many pictures. I don't really have many pictures of me at all. And honestly, most of the pictures I have of me, I just kind of look like metalhead goth, so, you know. I don't think they still do. I think that Nocturne is over. Dancing Ferret, who was the guy who used to organize it, I think he's kind of retired at this point. Yeah, I think it's over. I don't know. But it was cool. It was so cool. It was great. People were like fucking naked. I love Nine Inch Nails. Absolutely. There was all the cyber goths were on the big blocks. Those girls, man, what is up with that? Oh, I'm gonna go. They don't get paid. They come in their day glow cyber goth shit, and they stand on top of a big block over the audience, like 4 or 5 of them, and they just. It's cool. Speaking of boots, have you worn any heritage boots, mock toe, like Red Wing, Nicks, Russell moccasins? No. Red Wing might be the one that I would buy, but I don't really do boots anymore. I'm real lazy. I was too old for emo. No way, man. I was too old for emo. Emo is lame. Meredith's alive and well and raising a daughter named Gemma. Nine Inch Nails is industrial. Goth's wannabe successor? Andrew Mackenzie, you are wrong. They are coterminous creations. Industrial goes back, what are you talking about? I love Nine Inch Nails. I love industrial music. I love goth. But like, dude, the first industrial band is Throbbing Gristle, and they go back to like the fucking late 60s, if I'm not mistaken. So you just don't know what you're talking about, Andrew. You don't know. Oh! Although I was never really a fan of Throbbing Gristle, but they are the first industrial band. There's an argument to be made too that like Kraftwerk, which recorded their first album in 1969, they were maybe kind of seeding the field for industrial as well. 40-year-old goth carcass is coming to New York for the first time for Halloween. Packing right now. Any recommendations? Well, LaDraco, I don't know. Okay, I don't know what's hot. I don't know what's the clubs, but Shanghai Mermaid. If you can, especially as a 40-year-old goth like myself, check out Shanghai Mermaid and see if you can get on the list. I think the list is pretty public at this point. The Shanghai Mermaid. Oh, LaDraco, yeah, man. Oh, I guess you know it. That was my wife and I when we lived in the city. That was like our thing. We would go to the Shanghai Mermaid parties. It was so good. Goth episode win. I mean, I loved the old sketch. What was it, Goth Talk? I work clips of it into my show every chance I get. Oh, okay, yeah. See if you can. Yeah, I'm sure she's doing she always does a crazy Halloween party. It won't be goth. They'll be the most insane. I don't know Fad Gadget. Insane like hot jazz. Like it's the whole thing with Shanghai Mermaid is that you go in and it is the 1920s. That is the deal. People are dressed 1920s. The music is 1920s. The drinks are 1920s. That used to be the deal. I mean, that was a long time ago. But I keep getting emails, so I know she's still throwing parties. What am I listening to? NPR. New wave? No, I don't believe that's the case. I would say it goes glam rock, new romantics to goth, actually. New wave and goth don't really connect up that much. New wave happens alongside new romanticism. New wave then yields no wave, but like new wave, you cannot say that new wave is before goth at all. You can't. Goth, I mean like goth goes to punk. Goth is, both of those come out of punk. But if you think about like the early goth bands, before they were using the term goth, like what are you talking about? Joy Division is kind of proto-goth. That's a punk band. You're talking about Bauhaus, like they are in retrospect goth, but like at the time, I'm skipping dark wave, sure, yeah. Yeah, it's East Coast here too, baby. I gotta get out of here. I don't know what someone's screaming at me. Yes, it does, Andrew. I think he's arguing with me about New Wave. NPR has 6 beats. Sometimes on an interstitial, I'm like, oh yeah, nice. Never got into Black Flag, honestly. All right, this is fun. Hey, you know what you gotta do? You gotta check out my Patreon. It's in the link right below, or you can go to htdapp.com and get yourself the HTD app. It's gonna change your life. It's the greatest thing ever. Hey, Padaz Studios, why don't you check out my Patreon so that you can get the HTD app? It's up there in the corner. I'm gonna navigate it for you. Check it out. Look, you can do things. I can go to episodes, and here's every episode of How to Drink I ever made. And when you go into one of them, you'll see that there's drinks in there, and that'll take you to the drinks. But you know what else is cool? You can go to drinks and see every drink I ever made. And you can filter by those drinks or search for them, and then that'll link you back to the episode. You could save your favorite drinks, like I did here. You can change your filter modes, and I'm always adding new features and things. So why don't you do that, huh? Why don't you do that? I needed to do that so bad. I don't know. Oh, I like T-Rex. I don't know Mark Bowen. I don't know. I can't say I like T-Rex. I like the songs of T-Rex I have heard. I like the Dolls. I like the New York Dolls. And we're all cool, yeah, man. Hell yeah, it's all cool. My throat's getting sore from talking. This has been too long. I gotta go. Dimethyltryptamine. Yeah, sure, I am. I don't feel like that shouldn't be controversial, but yeah, I mean, I'm voting the other guy. Woo! Woo! Yeah, let's not do politics. Sorry. I'm not doing that again. I get in trouble with the politics. Celebrities always do better work when buzzed. Are you a fan of Jamiroquai? I certainly wasn't when I was young, but I kind of have to say I like Virtual Insanity a lot more now that I'm older. At the time, I would be like watching on TV like, what the fuck is this shit? Oh wow, my hair looks stupid. Is that what I look like? I'm gonna go to bed soon, and I'm gonna look at my email, and I better see a lot of notifications from Patreon. That's all I'm saying. Andrew's trying to get banned. Do we want to see a Tom Cruise do a cocktail episode? Fact, guy who wrote it has written a sequel. I know that, yeah. Tom Cruise, a sequel to Cocktail? No, I don't want to see that. Gaspar Lewis. What's going on is I'm standing around. Make a nightcap. No, my cap is knighted. Favorite is a well-made Cuba Libre. Oh my God. 70s bands you like? I mean, sure. I listen to a lot of Jimmy Buffett. I don't know if that counts, but I'm sure it does. Yeah, of course. Greg's a mensch. Ooh, thank you. Thank you. That means a lot to me, actually. I still can't pronounce it Iron Brew. I mean, I look at it and my brain says Earn Brew. And I guess it's Iron Brew, and I'm sorry. Cyberpunk music vibe. Yeah, I have a Cyberpunk set over there that I'm not currently in because I don't have all the software set up for it right now. Episodes based on movies, not off the top of my head. Cheeseburger in Paradise is one of my least favorite Buffett songs, but I do let it play sometimes. Cap off your night with psilocybin. No. You're the bartender amongst your friends. That's awesome, dude. Yeah, no, that's totally normal. I rarely drink too. I also rarely drink. I drink a lot less than people think I do. Let's put it that way. Embre. I'm trying. Do you embody the spirit of a tequila sunset? I don't. I've been learning Irish. Earn Brew still throws you for a loop. Interesting. Well, I mean, it's not Irish, so. Have you seen Girl Drink Drunk? Of course I have. I've never done an episode on it because it feels sexist. I don't like the idea of gendering cocktails. It pisses me off. It's a funny sketch though. I learned to make proper old fashioned from this channel, and now my wife will be responsible for every growing whiskey habit. Oh. You know what? Fair. Pirate looks at 40, hits different when you're in 40s. Yeah. Do I hate sleep? I do. This is actually true about me. I hate sleep. I would never sleep if I had that choice. It's a really good thing I never got into speed because I would do a lot of it. How much booze do I dump in a year? Oh, I don't know. That's a good question. I never thought about it. That's a good question. Yeah, it's Scottish, but the amount they abuse the Latin alphabet is still familiar. What are your cocktail pronouns? Cock and tail. That sounds like it's implying something I don't mean it to. I actually like sleep when I'm asleep. Wait, what? I like the balls on Greg to drink on camera, unlike most people who hide it until after the second drink. I don't know what that means. What do you mean? I can't drink on camera? Drinks inspired by BioShock. Oh my God, people have asked me for it for so long. I just don't think it would click anymore. I think it's too old. Have you ever tried Zaya rum? I don't have a bottle, and so no, I haven't. Most versatile rum. Denizen 8 is fine. I think probably Appleton Estate, whatever the cheap one is good. Yeah, probably that. Classic cocktail movie and series from you. Is there anything like that coming soon? Not on how to drink soon, but I would like to do that. A BioShock video on a loop. Maybe I should do that then. Do you do live streams more often? Yes, I want to do more. Twitch has things against drinking on camera. No, I don't know. I always used to. I'm a fan of Lamb's Navy Rum. BioShock would be cool. Listen to Molshat Dama. I don't know what that is. BioShock would click. Okay. 97% rum cocktails are lame. Oh, no way. Rum is the best. I've been wondering for a while. Those of you do. I don't know. I think that YouTube Premium is fine. I think do that. An alcoholic could be trying to hide their drinking. Oh, yeah. Appleton's fantastic. Twitch is a pansy. I will always appreciate use of the word pansy. I don't think it's actually an appropriate term, but it always catches me off guard. I'm like, pansy, nice. As soon as I get a hold of the bro, not an alcoholic. No, I couldn't do this job if I was, honestly. That's why it drives me nuts. It's like, you don't even, oh God. I remember when I was a kid and I thought I was like an edgelord and I was smart or something. Like, if you think I'm an alcoholic, you don't know what a fucking alcoholic is. Shanghai Mermaid always has a big Halloween event, so. Greg is reading everything. I love you, Greg. Other than a pansy, what's the best almost curse one word to call someone? A bell end, which I don't have access to because I'm not from the UK, but calling somebody a bell end seems fantastic. I will never be able to know the joy of being like, you fucking bell end, because it's like, it doesn't fit in my mouth, but I think bell end is amazing. I love bell end. I also love mate. I don't have access to mate because it sounds weird in English in an American accent, but if I was British, I would throw around mate all the fucking time. I think that's great. An absolute bell end. It's so good, right? Any chance of you making a P.O. box? No, actually. I did that for a while, and then I realized I don't know what a bell end is. I just think it's a great fucking thing to call somebody. A numpty tosser. Yeah. A Muppet? Well, I think you mean Moppet, actually. That's a great question. My favorite not curse word to call someone. Goober? I call people goobers. I think I like that one. I like to call someone a goober. As a USA turned Australian citizen, I say man all the time because I grew up with that. Can't do twat and cunt over here in the US. Even now I'm being canceled. Why don't you make some Sonic drinks for the autistic fans? No. Too many, I don't know. I don't like that. I don't know what that, something about there I don't like. Bloody hell, governor, you can't do a British, mate. I can do several British accents poorly, and that wasn't one of them. Man, I just woke up on a new channel. Hello, chat. Zero Stasis Music. Hello, welcome to How to Drink. I need something to draw. What's your favorite obscure comic book character? Miracle Man. Fucking love Miracle Man. Number one, baby. Miracle Man. Actually, I love Adult Miracle Boy. Or is it Kid Miracle? I think Kid Miracle. If you haven't read Miracle Man, you should. It is not a Jesus comic. It's what's his name? Oh God, it was the guy who did Alan Watson? No, Alan Shepard, Alan Watson, Alan Moore. It's his like first big comic It's really kind of like Watchmen before Watchmen, and it's so fucking insane. It's so insane. Miracle Man is so fucking badass. So badass. It's so crazy. I love it so much. But yeah, there you go. Have you read it? If you've read it, chime in because it's bananas. They see the tiger smiling lives fucking rent-free in my head. I think about it all the time. All the time. It is the most horrifying and just, oh fuck yeah moments in any comic ever. I'm not the type of dancing clubs that take pictures and dance on drugs. I don't know that lyric, but it rolls off the tongue. It compounds exponentially. Would a cocktail using hot honey work in your opinion? But there's no reason not to just break it into its its individual ingredients. Like why use hot honey when I can use honey and whatever spice I want, right? Like, ever since I watched the Del Rey Misfits, I used doodle to describe someone's wiener. I like it. Yeah, when I was going to the goth club, I was a weirdo because I hated sleep and I would not do drugs because I'm not a person who did that sort of thing. I was a real square. But I would dance until the lights came on without breaks because I'm a freak. Any sci-fi book regs? I don't read much. When did an anime term enter Gen Alpha American slang? Oh, Sussy Baka, yeah. Because they're all into anime, I think. Ever taste sortilage? Can whiskey with maple syrup? Whiskey can with maple syrup. I don't know sortilage. What's your favorite type of alcoholic drink? The kinds with rum in them is my favorite type of alcoholic drink. Zero stasis. I drink rum. I had 2 rum drinks tonight, and I can't have a third because I really gotta call it. White steak chick is hot. Neuromancer is the shit. Yes, it is. The Lathe of Heaven. I know a lot of people have recommended that. Oh my God, I love buffalo wings. I love them. I do. I hear so many anime phrases pop on the video. I am a vampire. Canadian. Oh yeah, sorry. I try to like keep up with this. I don't know what to do anymore. I feel like I've run out of ideas here, guys. Oh, if you haven't done the whole Sprawl trilogy, you have to do the Sprawl trilogy. You must. And then I think you could totally do the Bridge trilogy as well. Does that include Itaru? Is Bridge not Itaru? Whatever trilogy Itaru is in was fucking great. It's probably not Itaru, it's probably like Itaru. It's like a Japanese thing. Itaru. Channel for the Wild Man, great. Thank you. You sound like you want to. Sounds like you want to talk about Miracle Man. I do. It's so good. I did. Oh yeah, man. Cyber Vegan, get it. Recent, I did drinks about Baldur's Gate. I do a lot of D&D stuff. Here, I can use the How to Drink app, and I can tell you all about the Baldur's Gate stuff I did because I can take medias adapted from, and I can go to. Probably it just shows up as Dungeons and Dragons. Oh, I did do it. I was like, it didn't do a drink from Django Unchained, but yes, I did. Frothing Dwergar. So here you go. This is from Baldur's Gate 3. I did Frothing Dwergar, Oblivion and Beyond, Shelton Fireswill, and Stag Swift Tonic. And actually, there might be a drink that's missing from that list, actually. I don't know if the Peripheral's getting another season or not. I was really into the first season or first 2 seasons, but I would like more. The app is new. HTDapp.com. Okay, cool. People are coming in still. HTDapp.com. It is a benefit for patrons of my Patreon. Jump on my Patreon, get HTDapp.com, or go to HTDapp.com. It'll direct you to Patreon. It would help me out. It'll help you out. It's a really good app. I built it. I'm still building it. I keep building it. It's getting better and better and better. I don't know what the channel Legends of Avantaris is. I like that idea, Thomas. I don't know why I like it. I like that idea. I never read Transmet. I had friends who were into it. Best coconut forward cocktail, Painkiller. Hands down. Have I ever thought about putting something in print? I've thought about it. Have you ever thought about trying to do cocktails inspired by different popular chain restaurants? Dude, where have you been? I did a whole series on that. Meredith and I would go to the popular chain restaurants and buy the bad drinks and put them in a cooler and take them home and take them apart and remake them better. We did Chains of America. Did a whole series on that. Oh, Nathan, thank you so much, so much, so much. Chains of America, Elizabeth, get up on it. Whole series. Streams like this are not that common, but they should become more common. I want to try and do one a week, but usually earlier. This is terrible. All right, guys, I think I do need to wrap it up. My throat is sore. It's after 3. Holy shit. Oh my God, Buster Keaton movies. Holy shit. You're the General. You gotta watch The General. The essence of the restaurant. I mean, I kind of did drinks like that, didn't I? Do event bartending. What does it pay? Does it pay very well? Because you're going to be disappointed, and I want to make sure that I don't need to do it again for a living. So once would be nice. I've never been to the Spaghetti Factory. I kind of would like Yeti as a sponsor, yeah. I like Yetis. I like the Yeti. This song is really making me think about playing Super Nintendo. Choose your fighter. Thanks. I picked up mixology during COVID and got picky with my whiskey sours. Nice. That's what I like to hear. The Fishin' Mortician. Yes. What a name. It's very Mega Man X. Yes, it is. I was thinking about R-Type, actually. I would love to do a Critical Role crossover gaming stream next. Not on YouTube. I don't think it would do well. I think people would not like it. If Mike MCTV is ever in New Jersey, I'd love to do it again with him. I don't know, UFO 50. I gotta go to bed, guys. I'm so tired. Oh, yes, there might be some D&D drinks in my soft drink future, Chernobyl. Hollywood loves remakes, but it's flair bartending still a thing to make new cocktails movie? Yeah, there is still flair bartending out there. Ultimo Vice. Hello, Ultimo Vice. I gotta go to bed. Get over here! With the throne chain, there's a bottle of rum at the end. It's cool. I like that. It could also be like a church key. My God, I feel like my hair is slowly turning into Prodigy's Tri-Hawk. I'm a fire starter, twisted fire starter. All right, guys, I've got to end this show. Well, Tim doesn't own the recipe to Nuka-Cola, so. But thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. This has been great. I must press upon you the importance of please, 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 please don't let me go. Little violent femmes for you. No, but please, please, please go check out my Patreon at htdapp.com or in the link down below in the description. How to Drink needs you to love it. Or How to Drink will die. Sorry. I feel awful. Oh man, this song is a bop. Yes. Yes. Jethro Tull? Yeah, I like Jethro Tull. Good night.